take it to trial. Take it to trial. Welcome in, grab a seat, hit the like and subscribe. Cause Sweet Peas on the mic with that spicy little vibe. Got the courtroom streaming in the chat, going wild. We're debating heavy topics, but still laughing like a child. From objections to confessions to the judge's side eye. If it's justice and it's messy, we gon' talk about why. Every day's a new case, every moment's a ride. And when Sweet Peas in the building, we be learning with pride. Minds on deck, keep the room running smooth. Film freak therapist, you know, keeping everyone in the groove. Right you with the facts, pretty brown girl with the sass. Moreldia and Fowler keep the peace in the chat. But Jason walks in and the ladies collapse. Chocolate, take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial, trial. Morning shows are sharp, afternoon is on fire. And we catch every moment that the court might inspire. From witnesses whispering, the lawyers trying to hard. You know Sweet Pea breaks it down like a legal tarot card. Chats cracking jokes, dropping theories on the fly. We're serious when it counts, but we still testify. Minds hold it down when the trolls try to play. If you write a line, court adjourned for the day. But when Jason logs in with that deep hello sound, the ladies in the chat, man, they all fall down. Take it, 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 take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial, trial. When the sun goes down and the cases get deep, after dark gets spicy, no secrets to keep. Taboo topics, big laugh, slap, happy crew. Sweet Pea says behave, but we never really do. It's opinions, confessions, stories untold, but we handle it with heart like the chat made a goal. Take it to trial, from day to night and every wild mile. Sweet Peas kneeling strong with her trademark style, and the fam in the chat always makes it worthwhile. Turn it up, show some love, hit the like on sight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like we start off this one real hot where the friend, she's gonna come to the stand, so ain't no reason for me to delay this. Let's listen in. Here come Kimmy with the whole mouth thing. Ay, ay, ay. What do she gotta say?
No problem. And just for the record, Your Honor, my name is Jesse Dreiser. I represent Mr. Fernandez, who's present, Mr. Hill is present, Ms. Day is present, and Ms. Neptune is present.
All right, Mr. Mizrahi, if you could put the state of Florida's appearances on the record.
Christina Stifler, Alan Mizrahi, and Steve Siegel on behalf of the state.
Okay.
Okay, Judge. Yes, just based on the statement of particulars that were filed by the state on July 24th, I believe that Ms. Nelson would be in a position to invoke, but she's been served to testify, and therefore I believe she's under the protection of Florida Statute 914.
Well, my understanding of the case law is that she cannot just blanket invoke. So it has to be question by question. What is she going to testify to and what she's not? And then the court has to make a finding about whether there is any type of meaningful ability for cross-examination in order to determine if she would testify. That's my understanding of the case law.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement that the state is, based on the subpoena that we've provided the witness, that we are providing her immunity for her testimony and cannot use it against her. And therefore, she's going to be willing to testify. I think Counselor just wanted that on the record, that what she says cannot be used against her. And that's a
Okay.
true statement.
Therefore, she doesn't have to invoke for every question. We're in agreement that she's afforded the protections.
All right, so where is Ms. Jensen?
She's right here, Your Honor.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Jensen. Come forward, please. Raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right, Ms. Jensen, before you take the witness stand, I'm going to have you kind of step back so that it doesn't, no. I mean, back outside when you're called as a witness, so it doesn't appear that there is something unusual going on. Most witnesses just come in from the doors. Do you understand? In just a minute. So I need to have a conversation with you, though. Give her a microphone, please.
And Judge, maybe a little bit of background as to what we expect is going to happen. Ms. Rahi is going to enter proffered evidence, and then unless there's a major changing in the court's ruling, I do not believe Ms. Jensen called
Would not.
would not be.
It's on.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Jensen, first, let me make sure that you understand. Do you understand what your attorney is explaining to the court?
I do.
Okay. Which is what?
That I have
You have a constitutional right.
to invoke.
Right. And so the state is giving you a subpoena. So that means that,
I was forced to come here, not, right?
right, but you're compelled to come here.
Right.
But on top of that, more important than that is that if they gave you that subpoena, that means that your testimony, since they're compelling you to talk, to testify, then you would have immunity as to the answers.
Yes.
Okay. So that's important to understand, because otherwise, if you did not have that, then they could possibly use this as some sort of information or statements to use against you. You understand that?
I do.
All right. So the second part of this is that this is a proffer, meaning that they're going to call you to the witness stand. There won't be a jury here. So I'm going to determine whether these questions would be asked in front of the jury or not. So what's important is that, like, I try to explain this to witnesses because proffer means an offer of proof. So he's going to ask you some questions that he would want to ask in front of the jury. So I like to explain it to witnesses because you're like, why are they asking me the same thing again? It's because the jury's not here. The jury is the fact finder. Do you understand that?
I do.
And so I'm trying to make a legal ruling, all right?
Okay.
You've already been sworn in, so you can go ahead and take the witness stand. You can take the microphone away from her. There's one on the witness stand.
Thanks, Ron.
Do you want to take this?
So there's a slight incline here, okay?
I thought you wanted her to go out and come back in.
Didn't you want me to go back out? No.
No, not yet. You just have a seat. All right, Mr. Mizrahi.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Kim Jensen.
And how do you know Shanna Gardner?
I initially met her probably 11 years ago through church.
And would you consider yourself close friends with Shanna Gardner?
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to review a series of text messages that have been labeled State's Exhibit 10F for identification?
I did.
And are these some of the text messages that you and Shanna Gardner exchanged and you and Susan Lee exchanged?
They are.
Your Honor, I would enter this as a court exhibit.
All right.
Exhibit 1.
I'm assuming no objection to that for the court exhibit.
As a court exhibit, no objection.
Okay, can I see it? Thank you. You can proceed.
Thank you. So, Ms. Jensen, any of those text messages have to do with Shanna Gardner's ex-husband, Jared Bridegan. Is that true?
Correct.
Describe for the record what how the divorce went and how the child custody went with regard to Shanna Gardner and Jared Bridegan?
From a legal standpoint, I guess the divorce went quickly, but it was not amicable at all. And the child custody was 50-50. And that was the ruling.
How did Ms. Gardner feel about Jared Bridegan as a father?
He frustrated her as a father.
And did Ms. Gardner share with you that she wanted to have more custody of her children?
Shanna wanted more communication more than anything.
Yeah. Does that include that she wanted more custody or no? Yes or no? Or I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to object to leading. She's free to answer the question on direct as she wishes.
I don't think giving 3 potential options of an answer.
I'll overrule it. Go ahead.
You would,
Sorry.
let me ask you this. In those text messages that have been entered as a court exhibit, did Shanna ask about a hitman?
Those were in the text message.
And based on that request, you texted another friend, Susan Lee, about finding somebody for Shanna. Is that fair?
That's not fair.
Okay. Well, what do the words say?
The words say that.
You've testified previously that you were joking about this. Is that fair?
Something that had nothing to do with Shanna, yes.
But you would agree that shortly after Shanna asked you for a hitman, that you then reached out to Susan Lee.
I'm going to object to leading again.
I'll overrule it for the purpose of the proffer, okay? So we can get through it.
Yes, ma'am.
I did reach out to Susan Lee.
And the words are what they are.
They are what they are.
Describe for the record how Shanna married Mario, what you knew about it, and then what your relationship was with Mario Fernandez.
How she married him?
Yeah, what did you know about it? Was it fast? Was it slow?
It was fast. She met him and then married him within just a few months. It was it was quick.
And what did you think about Mario Fernandez?
I thought she shouldn't marry someone so quickly because I didn't know Mario particularly, and I didn't think that she was ready to move on.
And do you see Mr. Fernandez here in court?
I do.
Can you say where he is so you can identify him for the record?
Right there in the blue suit.
May the record reflect that witnesses identified the defendant?
Yes.
So did you have conversations in the presence of Shanna Gardner about Jared Bridegan with Mario Fernandez?
Maybe. Most of my conversations were strictly with Shanna.
In your meeting with Mario Fernandez, did you think that he was a boastful individual?
I did.
Did you think he would brag about being able to do things that you believed he could not do?
I did.
And was that, just describe a little bit more for us.
Mario was always a big talker. I always believed that he wanted to be the biggest person in the room. His personality was such that he always had a story about everything. He always had, he always knew somebody. That was his personality. He had a very big personality.
And did that big personality sometimes relate to his Navy career?
I think it was Army, but yes.
Okay. So he would talk about doing big things in the Army?
Yes.
Did then Shanna Gardner ever share with you statements that Mario made about being able to fix things, take care of things?
And just for
Yes.
the record, I'm objecting as the same objections that I've made in my motion to limine, Your Honor, that you've ruled on.
So just so that I'm clear, this is the objectionable part that you're indicating. There's no objection to the previous testimony? Just so I know that what I'm ruling on.
Yes, well, it's very complicated. there's going to be two separate things that I don't think any of that other stuff get to if this statement doesn't come in and your ruling stands. And I think Mr. Mizrahi agrees to that. Those conversations that Ms. Jensen just testified to, Mr. Mizrahi specifically said that Mario was present for. So obviously there's no marital privilege to that.
Right, so y'all keep doing this. A proffer is get to the objectionable part. So like
I'm
if
not doing
if there is no, Mr. Mizrahi, if there is no objection to that, I've heard Ms. Jensen testify before. And so if you could get to the part that you believe I need to make a ruling on, that's what I'd like to get to. If there's no objection to this and other stuff, there's no need for me to hear it.
The state of Florida has to lay some background. This is not a situation where the witness has testified and we've let the jury out. I have to let some background.
I agree.
So I spent 5 minutes laying a background, and now I'm
Longer
getting to
than
the
that.
questions.
Longer than that. Get to it, Mr. Mizrahi.
I am, Your Honor. I'm getting to the point now where that's why he objected. So,
I'm sorry, but just to be very clear, that court exhibit, Your Honor, would never come in, and we would object to that. But
Okay.
I got it. Move on. Mr. Mizrahi, go ahead.
yeah, just let me do it. So describe the things that Shanna Gardner shared with you about Mario being able to fix things.
That was his catchphrase. He would say that about all things, no matter what it was. If it had something to do with me, if it had something to do with the kids, that was just a common phrase that he would say.
And did Mario Fernandez share with Shanna Gardner that he could take care of, fix the issues Shanna Gardner was having with Jared Bridegan?
In a family law setting, he would say he believed that they could use the family law courts and fix the problems.
And so that's something that Shanna Gardner shared with you, that Mario says he can fix it, he can take care of it. In a family law setting is what
Yes.
your impression was.
Yes, that was my impression.
So did Shanna Gardner also share with you that he could take care of it because there was a motorcycle gang that was living in close proximity to Jared Bridegan?
When Shanna relayed that statement to me, it was I have eyes.
Okay, and that statement, I have eyes, has to do with Jared Bridegan.
I have eyes on the kids at all times, so yes, I guess.
Did Shanna Gardner share with you that Mario Fernandez shared that he was close on multiple occasions to Jared Bridegan?
I don't know that I remember that.
Did Shanna Gardner share with you that Mario Fernandez had eyes everywhere?
Yes.
Did Shanna Gardner say that Mario Fernandez said that there had been missed opportunities?
As
far as taking care of the situation with Jared Bridegan?
I'm not 100% sure if those were the words. Maybe.
Tell me what you remember.
You're asking me to go through years. I just need you to be more specific, please.
Okay. Well, have you previously testified that there were missed opportunities with regard to Jared Bridegan? Have you had the opportunity to review your grand jury testimony?
I did,
Would you refresh your memory to look at it again?
please.
You have it.
I say grand jury testimony, I really meant your hearing testimony. So would that help?
If you show me.
Look at page 76 of the hearing testimony. You can go up there.
So what was your question again?
Did Shanna Gardner indicate to you that Mario Fernandez said that there were missed opportunities with regard to Jared Bridegan?
I don't see those words here. Oh, well, maybe down here, maybe. That was a question.
What was your answer?
I don't see an answer here. I said, my answer is, I heard the whole hearing, so I did hear the statements. I don't see where I answered that question.
Well, if you keep going, you do. 18, 19, page 77, lines 18 through 25.
Depending on the question, I guess it's possible, but I don't think so.
Okay. Now, turning to page 78, lines 5 through 7, do you recall the statement, we'll just do it like this, it's quicker,
Okay.
that there was a delay based on COVID?
My answer was, I never said anything about a delay in killing Jared because I never had any knowledge of Jared being killed or planned to kill him.
And then lines 13 through 16?
Not long after that, Mario had made a statement that he never goes anywhere. Neither did anyone else in COVID. Like it just didn't seem, you know what I mean?
I'm going to ask you a couple more statements and then we'll be done. Do you remember a statement that was made shortly before Jared Bridegan's killing?
Can you be more specific?
Hawaii.
I remember talking to you about Hawaii.
Okay. Tell, for the record, and tell the court what you remember Shanna Gardner telling you.
Shanna told me that they were getting divorced and how they were going to go about that as far as the kids were concerned. And at some point, Mario asked her if she wanted him to take care of anything, and she said, Jared, and he said, or she said, absolutely not. I don't want anything to happen.
So say that again since you kind of mixed it up.
What did I mix up?
Take care of who?
He asked if there was anything Shanna wanted him to take care of, and she said Jared, and then she said absolutely not.
Okay, so who said Jared?
Shanna.
Okay, so I want to break down. Mario Fernandez says, is there anything you want me to do to take care of?
Correct.
And then she said Jared,
Yes.
and then Mario said okay,
Mario didn't say anything. She said no.
and then she said no.
She said absolutely not is what she said.
And this is what Shanna Gardner is relaying to you a week or so before the homicide.
I can't be sure. I told you originally that I wasn't 100% sure which trip that was, because every trip had something to do with divorce in the couple of years prior.
But you know when the murder was,
I do.
and you were aware of this statement a couple of weeks before the murder.
If it was that trip, but I said I couldn't be sure because there were many trips.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, that's all the questions I have.
Just so that I'm clear, and y'all can ask whatever questions you need to after the fact. So the Hawaii trip, when you said they are getting a divorce, you mean Ms. Gardner and Mr. Fernandez?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Dreiser. Sorry.
Ms. Jensen, good morning.
Good morning.
I only have a few questions for you. To be very clear, this is what Ms. Gardner is telling you,
Yes.
a conversation that she had with her husband.
Yes.
You have no doubt in your mind that Mario Fernandez did not know that she was sharing these things with you, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Fernandez you have never heard any of the words that you testified to regarding this last conversation, and most of your testimony, that Mr. Fernandez wasn't present for that. That's what Ms. Gardner was reporting to you that her husband told her, correct?
Yes.
And even that last statement, you don't know what Hawaii trip it happened on, do you?
I don't.
And there were many Hawaii trips, correct?
There were.
And divorce was something that was talked about from time to time with you and Ms. Gardner, correct?
Yes.
Regardless of how quickly they got married, Mr. Fernandez loved those children, right? That's what you believe?
I believe that.
He was an active and engaged stepfather?
He was.
And Mr. Mizrahi didn't ask you in those statements the questions in between all the different questions, but you would agree you kept telling Mr. Mizrahi that Mr. Fernandez just wanted to keep Ms. Gardner safe. That's what he was referring to in all those questions, right?
Yes.
I don't think I need anything else, Your Honor.
I just want to make sure, so the questions by the defense, those are specifically related to Hawaii? The Hawaii statement?
And all the other statements that Ms. Jensen said that Mr. Fernandez was not present for. That's what was
That's the problem. So I don't know that the defense needs to do it, but that is the purpose of the ruling. It's not necessarily all these statements. It's the circumstances surrounding the statements that.
I totally agree. That's why
So I don't know anything about that to make a ruling. It's the circumstances for which the statements occur.
Circumstances under which the statement occurred, there's a state theory, two-pronged way why this comes up.
I understand the state's second theory, that it's about child custody. However, I thought, I want to be clear. I think about 45% of her testimony could be admissible. I find probably 3 statements that she couldn't make. I don't think that this is admissible. There are no circumstances for the court to make a ruling. However, the facts and the circumstances related to the Hawaii trip, I don't know, were they just made via witness to Ms. Gardner or vice versa on a telephone call? Was he sitting on the couch? That's what I mean, the circumstances.
It was a call between Shanna and I.
Shanna was in Hawaii when she.
I believe so.
Judge, there's no dispute. Mr. Mizrahi will agree with me. Mr. Fernandez was not present, and he did not know that she was ever going to share those communications. So there's nothing in your ruling that you heard today that's different.
Well, I want to be very clear. I did not say that she couldn't testify. Like I said, I think probably about 45%, but for these private text messages back and forth between, I don't know who some of these numbers are.
They're not.
But anyway, you're not. Okay, so I'm not making a ruling on that. You just want it admitted for what purpose? So as it relates, hold on, let me pause you. As it relates to the co-conspirator statements that pass prior to her marriage of Mr. Fernandez, I'm not excluding that. Okay, so, but you're not admitting this? Okay.
Co-conspirator hearsay statements heard before Mario Fernandez even met these conspirators varies within the official due process confrontation.
Okay. All right. So the state is All right, so you're putting in a court exhibit that you do not intend to actually introduce as evidence. However, the statements, I only really see 3 potential problems with the admission of some of these statements. The Hawaii statement, a private conversation between this witness and
The Hawaii statement was the main purpose on doing all of this is the Hawaii statement. That is why we on the proper on Friday, that's why we put it on the proper. People believe there, here's the statement.
all right. Thank you, Ms. Jensen. Do you have anything further for Ms. Jensen?
No, can I have 1 minute with counsel?
Okay.
The state and I haven't, I think we understand, and it wasn't as clear, but I agree with the court. Anything that she heard Mr. Fernandez say, it would be admissible if the state so chooses to call her. I did not object every single time this morning because
Right.
I was trying to get through it. Most of what she testified to was just what Ms. Gardner told her, and the state agrees with me. They're not calling her to put any of that in. So just so the court's aware, I would have objected to every single question where she was reporting what Ms. Gardner told her Mr. Fernandez said. With that being said, I think the witness can be excused.
All right. Just temporarily so that I can make a ruling. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. No. Thank you. So I wrote in the court's order the state's secondary theory related to Ms. Jensen. I've rejected that line of thought. I saw no support in the law nor the rule that would allow the state to submit that statement and pierce the marital privilege. I left open the potential that if there were circumstances surrounding the actual statement that would basically, the privacy would fall away. The circumstances for which it was made, but generally speaking, I believe that the exceptions to the marital privilege outside of the privacy area are well defined. It is a crime against either one of their children. AB and LB are Ms. Gardner's child, but none of what I saw, and I'll hear you out, changes the court's analysis. So I'll hear you if you want.
Yeah, just very briefly, thank you.
Okay.
Joanne. The AB and LB are victims of an intentional act that reasonably could lead to their physical or mental injury. Because this is not a murder that is done for a gang reason or for money reasons, and tangentially, those children are injured. The goal and purpose of this homicide was to take away Jared Bridegan's parental rights to eliminate their father intentionally. This was the intentional act done that could lead to their physical or mental injury. LB and AB are children of Shanna Gardner. Therefore, she has the ability, her statement pierces the marital privilege because it's a statement about the homicide involving her two children. That's the theory. The reason why we put on Mr. Ponder yesterday is it was direct evidence from the defendant's mouth to Mr. Ponder's ears that the purpose of this homicide, the purpose he hired someone to do this, was for child custody issues. So this isn't the act itself was an intentional act to inflict physical or mental injury upon these children, in addition to obviously Mr. Bridegan, but that was the goal of it. In order to prove a child abuse, that the act has to be intentional. So the court's concerned that it was just some random act of violence. That would not be intentionally to the children. The court.
That's not my concern.
Okay.
What criminal case has ever centered on child abuse where the children are physically safe in their house and let's say the other spouse gets beat up, or let's say it's that, beat up by the other spouse, and then somehow that pierces some sort of marital privilege. AB and LB, I believe we all could agree, were safe, at home, dropped off, physically safe. So the mental argument by the state is that, I guess, do you know a case where that's been the child abuse theory?
There are cases where the child abuse theory has been premised on mental injury, 100%. There is not a case that deals with child abuse that mental injury is the reason to pierce marital privilege.
No. Have you seen a child abuse case where one parent is trying to get custody over another parent and therefore the state of Florida intervened with criminal sanctions saying that, no, that's child abuse?
No. There is not a child abuse that I'm aware of, at least an appellate case, an opinion case, where the murdering or injuring of another parent for child custody.
I'm not talking about, let's say not murder. Let's say just a third-degree child abuse where the state of Florida goes and arrests another parent because they want more custody than another parent.
Well, that would never be a child abuse.
Okay, but that would be mental injury on the child potentially, right?
No. No.
Okay.
Talk about murdering their father.
All right.
It
What
has nothing to
about
do with
breaking their
legal-
legs?
Well,
Breaking their legs or doing something horrible to the other parent?
That doesn't interfere with their custody. They still have custody of their child if they're beaten up, if their legs are broken, if they go to the courts. That's all legal methods. You're talking about the only true way that they could eliminate custody, the only way they could take this father away from his children was to murder him. There is no other way. That's our theory, is that that was done intentionally, and that reasonably could lead to the children's injury. It's a very unique set of circumstances. Certainly, we don't have any third-degree child abuses under that premise because it wouldn't exist. We do have third-degree child abuses with an act that it could intentionally lead to mental injury to a child. Those exist.
Quote me a case.
I don't have a case right off the top of my head. It's the statute, you know. And there are certainly premises under the statute, under 82703, it says an act that reasonably could lead to the physical or mental injury of the child, and we have to be able to prove those elements. But there's not I could probably find one. I don't have it at the top of my mind, because there's not one. I concur with the court. There's not going to be a case that says that pierces marital privilege. There are, and I submitted in our argument, cases where the reckless driving pierced marital privilege.
Right, but that was one parent that was driving and then injured the child. That's, in my mind, so factually distinct from this scenario.
I don't think the child was injured at all, Your Honor. If you read the case, the child was subject.
I've read a lot of cases very recently, so I apologize for getting it, but I believe that it related to the child. I'll pull it back up.
The child was in the car and the person was driving recklessly, and that could lead, that was considered a child neglect. It wasn't an abuse, it was neglect. For failure to provide the care necessary for the child's well-being by driving recklessly while the child was in the car. I agree that was, the child was in the car when the recklessness occurred. But it doesn't change the state's argument that the intentional act was to eliminate the parental rights and take away these children's father.
That case also went to the premise of the psychopatient privilege. That's what the court was ruling on, not the marital privilege. They punted, or they didn't need to go to the marital privilege because they relied on the psychopatient privilege, which does not have the same elements as the marital privilege. I'll just wait.
And discriminatory enforcement. Accordingly, pursuant to this analytical framework, which sets forth in Fuchs, we conclude that the district court properly held that the challenge statute is not unconstitutionally vague. Mental injury is adequately defined, is what it says, and I'll go back up to what they are affirming is not vague, which in 39, I know the state is focusing on the intentional part because your theory is that the murder is the intentional act that would somehow produce this, which is mental injury means an injury to the intellectual or psychological capacity of a child as evidenced by a discernible and substantial impairment in the ability to function within the normal range of performance and behavior. So you're saying that LB and AB, that is the fact. So I would need more facts there.
I understand the court's, I understand that law. I'm very well of the mental injury law and what is required. I would point, Your Honor, to Hill v. State, which I argued at our last hearing at 846 Southern 2nd, 1208 of 2003.
Repeat the last numbers.
I'm sorry. 846 Southern 2nd, 1208. It's a 2003 5th DCA case, and under head note 5, 6, and 7. Your Honor, we don't have to prove beyond it to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt that a child abuse occurred. In fact, the court quotes, and I'll read it for Your Honor, although we have found no case in which the defendant has been convicted of this crime of child neglect based on reckless driving of a vehicle, if the defendant's reckless driving is shown to be sufficiently gross, there is no reason why the charge could not be proven. Because of the clear statutory language in both Section 39, which is what we're going on, we agree with the trial court that the psychotherapist patient privilege does not exist in this case as to any communications relevant to the child neglect felony count. So the law doesn't require you to prove.
I'm not putting that burden on the state.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not putting that burden on the state. I don't want you to even argue that. I'm not putting that on there. However, I do have to find that that would be potentially a child abuse, correct? In some form. I'm not saying that you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt each and every element, and I don't want you to think that I'm doing that.
Okay.
And as well as I don't want you to put on an entire proffer of things that I probably about 80% I would allow. I'm not putting the state in a box like that. Instead, I don't know, just like the state is being cautious, saying that we don't want to put in evidence that there was a pre-existing conspiracy for confrontation. That's your choice. That's your strategic choice. However, I need a legal path to admissibility. Admissibility isn't beyond a reasonable doubt. So I want that to be very clear. I'm not putting that burden on the state.
Okay.
But I do, you would agree, Mr. Mizrahi, that this is unorthodox.
I wouldn't call it unorthodox. I would call it using the law to get in pieces of evidence. That's what I would call it. I wouldn't call it unorthodox.
All right. So Earhart is like my favorite book.
I love it too.
Okay.
I've seen him lecture many times.
Me too. All right.
You have.
Total fan club. However, I don't see that Earhart has anything. And he is a guru on evidence that would even suggest a path like this.
My argument to the court's last inquiry about whether or not it is inconceivable that a 9-year-old child whose father has been murdered would not have some discernible psychological issues as a result of the elimination of that parent. This is not unorthodox or way out there. It is incredibly logical that if a child loses a parent, that they will be subject to some type of psychological damage as a result of it, discernible as required by Dufresne. So I think the court's analysis ends there. Is that reasonable? Yes, I think that's reasonable. Therefore, it pierces husband-wife privilege, and it is admissible. That is the state's argument. And if the court, I agree with the court that there is not a case on point, on all fours, that deals with this issue. I agree with that. I agree that with the reckless driving, the child is in the car. This is a mental injury situation as opposed to a reckless driving situation when the child is in the car. Those are two different scenarios.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm still messing. I've got to figure out what Mr. Mizrahi is, what his path to admissibility, and he keeps saying all these much higher hurdles that I'm not putting on the state.
Okay.
And so let me go ahead. What's your objection?
My objection is, and I've been quiet and letting the court and Mr. Mizrahi go, is that you made a ruling and you gave a pathway to the state to see if they could breach the marital privilege. And they put on their proffer. There was no breach of the marital privilege. And now Mr. Mizrahi is getting essentially now what's been 30 minutes of an opportunity to re-argue and start citing case law of cases you've already ruled on, you've already read, that is not what today's hearing was for. It was, your ruling was very clear. If they can breach the privacy, then you made the ruling. You've read Hill. You've read all these cases. So I'm just sitting here letting him get a second bite at the apple in the middle of the trial, and I think that's unorthodox. I think your ruling, which was written, well thought, well written, and took time and days before we got a decision, is now just being relitigated on the very premise of not what you said they could do, which is break the marital privilege. And that is frustrating as I sit here and allow this to go on, but it's as you see fit, Your Honor.
So this is where I'm at. In that hearing, there was the opportunity to call these witnesses. It didn't happen. The state is able to make a record, which they're allowed to do, which is a proffer. And while I don't necessarily, generally speaking, proffers are the objectionable evidence, and their record needs to be clear, Mr. Dreiser, that generally speaking, the proffer only includes what is being objected to. Like I said, I don't want the appellate court to be under the impression that I ruled all of that inadmissible, which I did not. I don't want the state to make a record saying that I'm saying that it's not admissible because they have to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. It is not. I know the rules of evidence. So I don't want, that is what I'm doing, okay? So as far as that is concerned, I have heard part of this. I haven't seen it in real life. I did not know what the purpose of Mr. Ponder was or what he was saying, I guess, at the very end. And then I want to make sure that the record, what you're objecting to is the Hawaii statement, and then this some other statement that was made on the phone. But there were statements put in that apparently Mr. Fernandez was here for, and so that would not be marital privilege. That is not inadmissible.
I agree.
And so my last question for Mr. Mizrahi is that the statements that you are seeking to admit where you're saying it was related to child custody, you're depending on Mr. Ponder, not from Ms. Jensen, because she said that Mr. Fernandez said he was going to fix things through the family law system.
Well, it's both.
It's both. Okay.
It's both. Ms. Jensen doesn't say that Mr. Fernandez said he was going to kill Jared Bridegan for child custody. That's why we put the Ponder on. That,
Okay.
the Ponder statement is the direct evidence that the murder was done with the intent to commit
Let's be
child abuse.
All right.
Mr. Ponder did not need to be proffered. I agree. You weren't making a decision as to whether what he could say comes into evidence. You were very clear about that, and I agree with the court. They just chose not to call Mr. Ponder for strategic reasons. They had no, Mr. Ponder.
They have?
Yes, they have chosen not to call him.
Okay.
And they brought him in to tell you evidence that the jury has not heard that could come in. He can say what Mr. Fernandez told him, and then I'll cross-examine him, and the jury will decide what they're going to do with Mr. Ponder. But now they're trying to get him what Mr. Ponder said to influence your ruling. When that's not, that's, I don't know why they proffered it, quite frankly, I guess to stack inferences. But Mr. Ponder could have testified in front of the jury. He wasn't saying anything, as you said. You don't make determinations on believability. You make legal decisions. There was no legal objection that I know of that I could prevent Mr. Ponder from testifying. So let's be very clear about that.
Okay, well, I didn't know the state wasn't calling him, so, all right. If you, Mr. Mizrahi, I stopped you because I thought he was going to testify and they'd hear all of that stuff. I needed to make a legal ruling, but if you wanted to put him on again to, I guess, or put his deposition in, I don't know. But I stopped you because I thought he was going to testify.
The state does not need to recall Mr. Ponder for any purpose of the proffer.
All right, so.
We have put on the evidence that we think the court can make this decision, and we understand the court's previous ruling, and I've made my argument, so we're good.
All right, I'll maintain the ruling. Are y'all ready to get started?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jensen, you don't want her anymore?
It needs to be appear for the Gardner case. And she's under subpoena.
Okay, thank you. Nice meeting you. Ready? We'll see. Mr. Hathaway, will you get that exhibit? Who's the state calling?
Fred Barton, Your Honor.
Thank you. Waiting for them to be
Sorry, I didn't
ready.
hear that, Mr. Conversation.
Thank you. Welcome in, members of the jury. Everyone may be seated. Welcome back, members of the jury. I hope that you all enjoyed your weekend. We are in the 6th day of trial. I want to, before we begin the proceedings today, just confirm that you all follow the communication rule over the weekend's recess. If you could all answer out loud. Yes. Okay, great. Now, to remind you where we are procedurally, the state of Florida is presenting their case. They're going to call their next witness. Ms. Stifler.
Your Honor, the state calls Fred Barton.
Fred Barton, please. Good morning, Mr. Barton. Come all the way forward, please. All right, raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay, sir, go right to your left and then be seated in the chair. Pull yourself all the way up so that you're speaking into the microphone, okay? You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay?
Very well.
Thank you. Could you please state your name for the record, introduce yourself to our jurors, please?
My name is Fred Barton.
And Mr. Barton, do you live here in Duval County, Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived here in Jacksonville?
Since I retired from the Navy, 2002.
And what do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a manager for Allied Security Company.
I'm going to keep this brief because I know you got to get back to work. I want to ask you about an incident that occurred several years ago with a man named John Biggerstaff. Do you know John Biggerstaff?
I do.
Can you tell the jury when you met Mr. Biggerstaff originally?
I can't remember exactly, but I met him years ago through his wife, who I met on a dating app.
Okay. And you had some kind of dating relationship with his wife?
That's correct.
She was married to Mr. Biggerstaff at the time.
That's correct.
And did you and Mr. Biggerstaff have any type of interaction yourselves?
No, just when I went around the house, he was there, or he would bring her to my house. She would stay with me on the weekends.
No problems with him? This was a consensual, everyone's copacetic type of relationship?
If you could say yes
Yes.
or no, please.
Thank you, sir. At some point, did you become aware that Mr. Biggerstaff was being federally prosecuted?
I did.
And during that time, did you know that he was going back and forth to federal court during his case?
I did.
And I want to ask you about, while he was litigating his case, did he ask you to hold an item for him?
He did.
And did he bring that item to your home?
He did.
Can you tell the jury what that item was?
It was a metal cabinet. He called it a gun cabinet, but I don't call it a gun cabinet, but it was a metal cabinet. And he brought it to my house, asked for me to hold it until his son would pick it up the following week on Friday.
And I know you can't remember the exact year, but in the timeline of his case, when did he bring this gun cabinet to your house?
The last conversation I remember having him with him was based on his attorney advised him that he needed to get rid of those guns or any firearms in which he had possession of, because if he was convicted, he wouldn't be able to touch them, do anything with them, so he was giving them to his son.
Okay, so this was prior to his sentencing, but after he was originally arrested in litigating his case.
That is correct.
When he brought the locker over, where did you store it at your home?
In my closet, in my bedroom.
How did he bring it over?
He came over and I put it on a hand truck, and he brought it up, brought it to my room. I put it in my room and locked my room, because I locked my room on the outside because my kids used to break in my room. So I locked my bedroom also to keep them from breaking in my bedroom.
Okay, and so he brought it on, he said a hand truck. What is that? Like a dolly?
Well, it's a hand truck. You just pull it back and you roll it however you got to.
Did you ever look inside the gun cabinet?
Never had access to it. Told him I didn't want access to it. I don't want to have any responsibility if anything's missing, damaged when he picked it up. So I couldn't tell you what was in it.
You couldn't tell what type of firearms were in there?
I wouldn't even know if there's firearms in it because we never opened it prior to him leaving it. We didn't open it when he came to pick it up.
Right. So you never looked inside, you wouldn't know what's inside other than his statements to you that it was a gun
Correct.
cabinet and his lawyer told you to take it with his
That is
notes.
correct.
Who came and picked it up?
Him and his son,
And what's his son's name?
Juan.
How long after Mr. Biggerstaff dropped off the gun cabinet did they come pick it up?
It's about a week, the following Friday.
Did you keep any firearms or ammunition that Mr. Biggerstaff brought to your home?
No,
Or would any of his firearms or ammunition, if they were in that gun cabinet, have been left at your home?
no,
Do you have any of Mr. Biggerstaff's firearms or ammunition to this day?
no.
And you're, obviously, in your job at Allied Security, you're lawfully allowed to possess and own firearms.
Yes, I have a gun from them.
Do you know the defendant in this case, Mario Fernandez?
Never heard of him.
Do you know a woman named Shanna Gardner?
Never heard of him.
Do you know a man named Henry Tenen?
Never heard of him.
Do you know a man named Jared Bridegan?
Never heard of him.
I have a moment of counsel, Your Honor.
Yes,
No further questions. Thank you, Mr. Barton.
thank you. Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Martin.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you. My name is James Hill. I represent Mario Fernandez. If I understood correctly from your testimony, sometime in a year that you don't recall, Mr. Biggerstaff brought over this cabinet as you described it. Is that a yes?
Yes,
Sorry, we just have a court reporter. She needs to hear exactly what your answer is.
I got you.
My understanding is you never opened that cabinet.
That's correct.
No idea what was in it, correct?
That's correct.
And if there were firearms, no idea how many.
That's correct.
Certainly no idea what make and model of those firearms.
Say that one more time.
You wouldn't know what make or model of firearms in a cabinet you've never opened.
He never opened it. I never opened it. He never opened it. I never wanted it to be open.
Understood. And that was about a week it was in your closet.
That's correct.
After that, you testified that his son, Juan,
And him.
came and retrieved that cabinet.
That's correct.
Where it went after that, you have no idea.
I've never seen or spoke to them ever since that.
And certainly you would not have given firearms to a convicted felon, correct?
I definitely wouldn't have done that.
As to whether or not that cabinet was transported somewhere else and opened, you wouldn't be able to testify to that.
I would know what they did with it once they left my porch.
And what year do you believe this?
I don't recall what year it was.
And ultimately, you and Mr. Biggerstaff had a falling out later on. Is that correct?
Well, I distanced myself once he got convicted of what he told me he was innocent of.
You and John Biggerstaff no longer had a relationship at that point.
At all. Not at all.
And I know Ms. Stifler asked you whether or not you knew Mario Fernandez. That name means nothing to you other than maybe at the top of the subpoena that you were served.
That's correct.
And so you have no information as it relates to the homicide of a man named Jared Bridegan.
Except for what I see on the internet.
But you personally have no information as to,
Never seen him before in my life. Never heard of him.
and certainly no information as it relates to Mario Fernandez and the homicide of Jared Bridegan.
That's correct.
May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
No further questions for Mr. Martin.
All right. Any redirect? Thank you.
He's excused.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Barton. You can step down. Call your next witness.
State calls John Biggerstaff.
John Biggerstaff, please.
He has a walker, so he may take it.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Biggerstaff. If you could walk all the way forward, please. Good morning. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir, if you'll make your way over to your right. Officer, I'm sorry, Mr. Holman, can you help him with his walker as well? Just get yourself situated in a chair, okay?
I need these two things. Purchase the 10mm document. And the,
Thank you, inventory.
You have to pull yourself up and talk into the microphone.
just a little bit. Inventory. Yeah. And the purchase of the 10mm.
Mr. Mizrahi, when you're ready.
Thank you. May it please the court. Counsel,
Thank you.
good morning.
Morning, sir.
Please state your name for the record.
John Robert Biggerstaff.
And are you a convicted felon?
Yes, I am.
When did you become a convicted felon?
When I pled to felony misprision in 2017.
2017. At the time, before you became a convicted felon, did you have to get rid of your guns?
All of my weapons, yes, sir.
Okay, and that's why we're here. You know, that's why we're here to talk about that.
I understand that, yes, sir.
Did you purchase a 10mm firearm?
Yes, I did.
When did you purchase a 10mm firearm?
I don't know the exact year, but it was prior to 2016.
Why did you purchase a 10mm firearm?
I was a member of a hunting club for a few years up in South Georgia, and where I was making my hunting stand, there were bears. Did some research and talked to a friend of mine who suggested two different kinds of weapons, a Casco 454, I think it was, and a 10mm Glock. Having served with JSO and my military experience, I preferred the Glock weapons over anything else that I was unfamiliar with.
Where's your gun now?
I have no idea, sir.
No idea where your 10mm firearm is.
No, sir.
Do you regularly take gabapentin? I'm not going to get into your medical history, but you mentioned that in deposition.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Gabapentin, do you normally take that?
Yes, sir.
Are you on that right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is that?
Gabapentin is for nerve pain.
And are you still able to perform your daily functions having taken that prescription drug?
I don't know what you mean by daily functions, no, sir.
What'd you say?
I don't know what you mean by daily functions.
You're able to come here and testify.
I'm able to come here and testify, correct.
There you go. Were you in the Navy?
Yes, I was in the Navy.
Tell the jury about your career.
I was in the Navy on active duty from July 86 until October 1st, 2007. Served on active duty as a cryptologic technician collection specialist.
What does that mean? Well, what you can share with us. What is it?
Cryptologic technician collection specialist changes with technology and threats as perceived by the U.S. government, National Security Agency. I maintain a top secret sensitive compartment and information facility type of access for my 21 years plus. When I first came in, I was it's known now as the HF manual Morse intercept operator. Over the years, I learned some different languages and performed different duties.
Well, thank you for your service. Did you also become a police officer?
I did, yes, sir. I became a JSO reserve officer.
Tell the jury about that.
I ran into somebody who mentioned to me, he was a reserve officer with Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, thought I'd be a good candidate, mentioned to me about the academy and so on and so forth. They're in a safety fair, I believe, at Regency Fair, or Regency Mall at the time.
You have to go undergo training.
Yes. Following my knee surgery, I had a physical fitness test the following week and started the academy right away. Yeah.
And what years were you a member as a reserve officer with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
It was about 3 years long, but I don't remember the exact years. Oh, well, yeah, and it ended in 2016 when I was arrested.
And I guess that was my next question. Obviously, you can't be a police officer if you're a convicted felon. Did you have it down, something happened in your life that you've talked about your Navy service and your police service, and did you have some things in your life that led you down a path that you're not proud of?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, just briefly, we don't have to get into all the details, but briefly tell the jury about it.
As a result of severe...
Yes. Not have any type of private conversation with you, but I can do this. So what are your concerns?
Yes, ma'am. My concern is, as a cryptologist, I've been trained to look at everything and listen to everything. So I don't know if I wasn't supposed to hear that conversation over there, but the court reporter has the screen open right in front of me that I can read. I didn't read much, but I just saw that the words going across match what I could overhear over there. And I just want to let you know in case there's something that comes out of that later. I'm sure that either needs to be screened, needs to be closed if you have some kind of a side conversation I'm not supposed to hear, or I need to turn away or something.
All right, so your concern was that you overheard part of what the sidebar was about.
Via the screen, yes, ma'am.
Did you hear it or you read it?
I read it.
Okay. Is any of that causing you a concern?
No, ma'am.
Did the objection cause you any concern?
I didn't hear the objection, ma'am.
You didn't?
No.
Did you read it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I will tell you, since the state didn't, if you do have some concern about, did you tell him some area that he shouldn't get into or not? I'm not sure. With the other witness, there was that issue. I'm asking.
I don't think that there's an issue with this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Dreiser, do you?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
All right. So did you have any concern about your background, sharing that with the jury? I just want to make sure that we can, when I bring it back out, we can.
Military background? No, ma'am.
All right.
No.
Okay, I think we're good to go. I don't, unless the lawyers think that there's something wrong, I'm not going to have Ms. Simpkins put her screen down. Because,
So, Your Honor, we're aware of the issue now, and if the lawyers will bring it to your attention if it needs to be put down for the witness.
okay.
Okay.
Well, I can do this. Ms. Simpkins, can you angle it a little differently? I'll go off. No, right now. Just angle it down a little bit. Is that good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I didn't essentially read the whole thing, but
For the record, the screen is angled down. Let's bring the jury back. You need it up like that? Can you turn it this way? Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right, welcome back, members of the jury. Everyone may be seated. Members of the jury, pardon the interruption. Mr. Mizrahi?
Please, the court. So, Mr. Bickerstaff, we left off with my question about the change in your life. You were you were a police officer, you were Navy, and did you end up with financial problems?
I had financial problems long before that, yeah.
Did you also end up with a drug addiction problem?
As a result of PTSD, drug addiction, depression, anxiety, yes.
I'm just trying to explain to the shift in your life. Would you agree there was a shift in your life?
Yes,
Do you know Mario Fernandez?
I do, yes.
And how do you know him?
I've known him for about 18, 19 years. My daughter got a ride home from him one day from school, introduced us, and we became workout buddies for a while.
And do you see him here in court?
Yes, I do.
Did you say where he's seated?
He's-
So you can identify him?
Seated to my right.
What color suit is he wearing?
I'm colorblind, but it appears navy blue.
You nailed it, Your Honor. This time the state would ask for the record to reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
I think they're all in blue.
He said navy blue, although I think Mr. Dreiser is navy blue.
All right. Yes.
So you explained that you were workout buddies. Just kind of dive into that a little bit for us, please.
Yes. In the mornings, Mario would come over and type his Pitbull 0 to my truck, and we would work out. I had purchased a home novelist gym from Sears many years ago and had it in my garage. It was enclosed. My son was playing football in high school and then on to college, and so we would work out in the mornings. Mario, when he was at home in Jacksonville, would come over and work out some mornings. We'd text each other in the morning, make sure I was up and going to work out. I think I was retired at that time, so I was working for Hewlett Packard, and I was on a 100% travel schedule. So in between my traveling, we'd get together, work out at my house, and then he joined the Army at some point, and I didn't see him for years.
Okay. When he got back from the Army, did your relationship begin again, so to speak?
Yes.
And did you share experiences in the military with each other?
Yes, occasionally.
Back in 2020, let's turn back to 2018, were you aware of who Shanna Gardner was before you found out that she got married to Mario Fernandez?
No.
Explain to the jury how you found out that they got married.
One day when Mario was at my home. He brought up a picture of him and Shanna, and I believe it was in Hawaii on a honeymoon or something like that, and said he'd been married for, I think he said 2 years, I think at that point. It was at least a year. And that kind of surprised us. So.
And why did it surprise you?
Well, I hadn't seen or heard from Mario in a while, and then to find out that he was married, somebody we consider a family friend, it was kind of shocking to find out that he had been married.
Again, with your relationship, was there an occasion on February 15th of 2022 that this defendant, Mario Fernandez, had sex with your wife? I think her name's Maria.
My wife's name is Maria.
Do you recall that situation?
I don't recall the date. I do recall the situation, yes, sir.
And that was based on your request?
That's correct.
Did you have to convince Mr. Fernandez to do that?
I did.
So he wasn't initially willing until you kind of pestered him for a while? Is that
Correct.
Okay. And you would agree that that was recorded?
Either pictures or video, yes, sir.
And so whatever the pictures or video show about the date, you would agree that that's right?
Correct.
Okay, so if it does show February 15th, 2022, you would agree with it?
Yes, sir.
Did you do work for Mario Fernandez, the defendant?
I did.
What was the most Mario Fernandez ever paid you at a time?
I have no idea, but it was at most hundreds of dollars to a couple hundred.
Did he ever pay you by check?
No.
What kind of work did you do?
I had a handyman business, and he would, I guess, subcontract me would be the correct word.
Was your handyman business registered with the state of Florida?
It was.
What was the name of it?
904 Handyman LLC.
And so the $200-300 you got was paid to you in cash. I think you said that.
You're correct.
Did you do work on the Potomac address?
I did.
The Henry Tenen, do you know who that person is?
I do, yes, sir.
And how did you meet him?
Henry was a tenant under Mario's rental property there. I had been working for a while to raise the shower head in the shower. Been there for a couple of days back and forth before I met Henry as I was departing the home the first time.
Is the reason you're raising the shower head because Mr. Tenen is
He's very tall.
6'6", whatever he is?
Very tall, yes, sir.
Okay. And that's why you were doing that?
That's correct.
Did Henry Tenen ever work for you?
No.
He ever work with you?
No.
I want to talk a little bit about the defendant's issues that he had with Shanna Garner's ex-husband. Did the defendant share issues with you that he had with Jared Bridegan?
Just two that I remember.
Tell the jury about it.
Mario had mentioned that there was some tension between him and his wife, Shanna, when he would have headaches, and I'd invite him over because we had determined earlier that a cigarette would clear his headaches, and I had cigarettes. And he'd stop and get a beer for two of us sometimes and bring him over. We'd drink a beer while he'd smoke a cigarette, and just say that her ex had caused a lot of problem or stress between Mario and Shanna because she was in court over the children, and as soon as court would be over, it seemed like she would be called right back into court, if I remember that correctly. And the second was kind of related to that was, I think it was the boy in the family had like issues with elevation, flying to New York to see a specialist that he was required to see. And I think that was it. As far as I know, that was the tension between him and Shanna, but those are the only two issues he ever spoke to me about.
Okay. And they were both related to child custody issues?
Correct.
Do you remember on January 25th of 2022 that the defendant came to your house?
No.
Would you have known what the defendant did after he left your house?
I have no idea.
And you have no memory of what y'all would have talked about?
No, none.
Did you become aware of the fact that Jared Bridegan was murdered?
Yes.
Tell the jury about that.
I heard it first on, I think it was Channel 4 News one morning or afternoon, and just in summary. Of course, I didn't know his name at the time or anything. And then sometime after that, it was a couple of days or week, Mario was helping me, I believe, moving things to and from my trailer that I was working on. Big, great trailer I had, probably 10 miles from the home. And he had a pickup truck, and he would help me move things back and forth.
Who had a pickup truck?
Mario had a pickup truck. When I got in the truck one time, he had mentioned that Mr. Bridegan had been murdered or shot. And I think the words they used was, the kid's dad is dead or something to that effect. And I said, oh my God, is that the story that's on the news and everything? He said, yeah. And that was pretty much, in a nutshell, that was it. That was about the end of the conversation.
So you didn't know anything about the name Jared Bridegan. He just referred to it as Shanna's ex. Is that fair?
Correct.
And so then you were able to put two and two together because you had seen the media stories of the case.
Yes, sir.
When did you become aware of the fact that Jared Bridegan was murdered with a 12-millimeter Glock firearm?
Never.
Even today?
You said 12 millimeter. There's no such thing as far as I know.
I misspoke. See, you're careful. Good. Misspoke. 10 millimeter.
10 millimeter, not until a couple of months ago. It was mentioned by Ms. Stifler, I believe. Either her or her investigator Bennett mentioned the 10 millimeter.
But as you indicated, that you purchased a Glock 10-millimeter firearm, correct?
Correct. One of many.
I'm showing you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 191. Mr. Biggerstaff, if you could review those last 2 pages of State's Exhibit 191 and indicate if that's you purchasing that 10-millimeter Glock firearm.
Without verifying the serial number or the concealed weapon permit, that seems like the purchaser, the dealer information I bought it from.
And it has your name and address,
It does have my old name and address, correct?
so it appears to be your purchase of that 10-millimeter Glock.
Correct.
You would only be able to verify it if you had the serial number.
And my weapon, yeah, my concealed weapons number, yeah, serial number, yeah.
Thank you to the mic.
Yes, I'm sorry, the serial number would verify that that would be the correct.
I'm going to leave State's Exhibit 191 up here. I'm going to show you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 190. I understand that it's not the best copy. What is State's 190?
It appears to be the handwritten inventory of 20 weapons that I surrendered in 2016.
So you recognize that.
Roughly, yeah.
And who filled that out?
Myself and my son. It's his handwriting, I believe.
And if you could go to the serial number column 3 of the Glock 10-millimeter, go down to line 7. It's going to be the Glock 40 10-millimeter. Can you read off that serial number?
It would be B as in Bravo, B as in Bravo, G as in Golf, L as in Lima, 770.
And can you read off the serial number of the purchased firearm in State's Exhibit 191, which is up at the top?
It is B as in Bravo, B as in Bravo, G as in Golf, L as in Lima, 770.
So you would agree that this is the firearm that you purchased and the firearm affidavit that you turned over to your federal probation officer?
Correct.
So what you turned over to the federal probation officer was before you were convicted, correct?
That's correct.
So you were hoping that you would get those firearms back at some point
That's what they told me, yes, sir.
until you became convicted and you knew that would never happen.
That question, I'm sorry.
That's a question.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Okay. And as you sit here today, you cannot produce that firearm.
That's correct.
Your 10-millimeter Glock 40 firearm was functional,
Was functional?
was it?
As far as I know, it was.
It was operational?
As far as I know.
You shot it?
I did shoot it after purchasing, yes, sir.
You had ammunition for it.
I, at one time, purchased ammunition for it, yes.
In fact, you had ammunition for all of your firearms, correct?
No.
Is there a purpose?
There's a purpose in this question, yes.
No, I mean, for the leading nature.
No, I can ask it.
All right, I'll sustain it then.
Just speed. Tell the jury what ammunition you possessed.
I have no idea what the hell I possessed back then. None.
Okay. Did you possess ammunition?
I had previously possessed ammunition. I used to have a locker which ATF searched. I used to have ammunition and guns in there, yes, sir.
Is a firearm able to be fired without ammunition?
It can be dry fired without ammunition. You can't injure anybody, as far as I know, without ammunition and no weapon, if that's what you're asking.
What happened to all your ammunition?
Ammunition and all the weapons were stockpiled in 2016, and I have no idea where that crap went. None of it. Excuse my.
No, you don't think these things are crap, do you?
Do I think they're crap?
Yes.
No, I was irritated about the whole situation by having to surrender my weapons, sir.
You would agree that the ammunition is not contained in the inventory?
No.
So you would agree there's no documentation that we have to show that you surrendered your ammunition?
As far as I've been told, there's no documentation to show that I surrendered anything. So that would be yes, correct.
So the crap you referenced was about the charge in your conviction, not the guns or the ammunition.
Word crap came from the charge, yes, sir. It's not,
Because you like guns,
used to.
and you didn't want to get rid of them. Is that fair?
I did not want to get rid of them under the situation. That's correct.
And there was a point in 2022. I just want to make it clear for the jury. When was that inventory? When did you surrender all your guns?
2016.
16. And was there a point in January of 2022, specifically January 25th of 2022, that you missed your guns?
No,
Never.
no.
Stifler, can you find that search for me? You would agree that guns have value.
Yes.
Specifically, 20 firearms would have approximately how much value?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, have some general idea.
No, I don't have a general idea. It's not my
Is it
business.
worth $5?
Sorry?
Would 20 guns be worth $5?
I have no idea.
Would it be worth $100?
I don't know. If you're asking for guns from a convicted felon, I have no idea what they cost.
No, I'm asking you, based on your knowledge and experience and lifetime of purchasing firearms, how much they cost.
I don't know.
How much did the Glock 10 millimeter cost?
I don't know that either. It should be on the receipt.
Can you give this jury any approximation of how much these things cost?
No,
You would agree that you are not a rich man.
correct.
Could you have sold these firearms
What time are you asking? I'm not sure what time you're
at any time?
I could have sold them up to 2016, yes.
And even, and let me be clear, in other words, before you were convicted of the crime, could you have sold them?
Before I had to surrender them, I could have sold them, yes.
Okay. Even after you surrender them, do you believe you could have sold them?
No,
And why not?
well, I know better than that. I haven't been JSO, sir, and worked on some of the things I worked on. I know how some of the systems and checks are done.
You would agree, Mr. Biggerstaff, that your son Juan, I'll ask another question. Just try to get, who is Juan Biggerstaff?
It's my son,
And at the time, was he in law enforcement?
yes.
You would agree that he helped you. I'll ask the question in a different way.
I'm sorry, you said at the time, what time are you referring to?
At the time that you surrendered your firearms,
2016? I don't know that he was. I don't think he was.
was Juan Biggerstaff a prohibited person? In other words, could he have sold your firearms had you given them to him?
Yes,
And it was Juan Biggerstaff, the person that helped you compile your inventory list.
that's correct. I think he was law enforcement because of the situation where I transferred one to him in that whole stockpile.
You think you transferred him one of the 20 guns?
Yep, yes.
And which one was that?
It was my backup JSO pistol. It was a Glock 40 millimeter.
Block 27, 40 millimeter? It was
I
27
don't
model?
know the model number. I'm sure you do.
Do you know anyone else that owns a 10 millimeter?
No.
I'm showing you what's been entered into evidence. This takes exhibit 197. There's not a lot of room to put it there, so I'm going to have to, I guess, take it out.
Mr. Biggerstaff, don't get too far away from the microphone.
Pardon me.
Have you reviewed that?
Yes,
And we talked about this in your deposition. Do you remember that you did search on January 26th of 2022, 10 millimeter firearms?
no, like I told you then, I searched all kinds of things all the time. I believe I clicked on bookmarks from the look of this.
Okay. But you would agree with the record speaks for itself?
Yes,
Okay. And then showing you, did you also, I think we talked about this in your deposition, search furniture with hidden compartments?
yes,
You remember that?
sure, yes,
Okay. Now, do you remember making the statement that you missed your guns?
yes,
So you do remember making that statement?
Of course.
Okay. And I understand you might have been speculating, but that may have been one of the reasons why you were searching for Glock 10 millimeter back in January. And I was right when I said the 25th. Those were in UTC, so it was the 25th. I'm sorry, let me go back to my question.
Please.
Your missing of the guns may have been the reason why you were searching for them on January 25th of 2022.
No, I think after looking at the furniture thing, I was looking for a way to conceal my substance abuse at home.
Okay. But you would agree that the record speaks for itself about whether you were looking at firearms as well?
Mr. Mizrahi?
I don't think that's a leading question. Do you agree with that?
I'm sure I clicked on, from the look of it, I'm sure I clicked on bookmarks.
Okay. Going back to your son, do you remember Juan Biggerstaff coming to your house? Strike that. I'll do this now. Coming to your house on December 21st of 2022.
I don't remember the date, but I remember my son coming to my house, yes.
It was shortly before Christmas and the holidays of 2022. Do you remember that?
I was thinking it was Thanksgiving, but yes, I remember. Okay.
And do you remember talking about the case with him?
Not the case, no.
Do you now know that Juan Bickerstaff came to your house while you were wearing while he was wearing a recording device?
I knew that. Yes, I knew that.
You know that now, or you knew that then?
Well, again, based on my prior military experience and JSO experience and not being an idiot, it was pretty obvious.
So back in December, I understand you don't know the specific date, but back in December of 2022, you suspected that your son was wearing a recording device? Yes or
Correct.
no?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Did he tell you he did?
No, sir.
And although you may have not been talking about the case, you did talk about the investigation where police officers came to your house and were asking questions about the 10 millimeter.
About weapons, and he asked in general weapons. I don't know that he asked about the 10 millimeter. He asked about where my guns were, who had them.
And what did you tell him?
A couple different things. In the beginning, I told him that I had no idea. He knew that I didn't have any idea. He kept pushing for saying they want to know where your guns are and they want to know who has them. So then I told him that somebody would get them to me by the 1st of January. And then I would make a call to ATF and tell them who had, or as soon as I knew who had them or where they were at, I would call ATF, something to that effect.
Okay, you've had the opportunity to listen to that recording.
That's correct.
And do you remember if he talked about starting to prepare for perhaps your arrest and helping his mother deal with that? Do you remember that's how the conversation began?
No.
Do you also remember that you told him that the only thing they cared about was the 10 millimeter?
I told him that?
Yes.
I don't remember saying that, no, sir.
And do you remember saying that it had been in your possession the entire time?
I don't recall saying that. Actually, I think that was one of the first things I said after I saw that he was pressuring me for more information.
Okay, so now you remember saying that the 10 millimeter has been in your possession the entire time.
I may have said that, yes, sir.
Was that the truth or a lie?
That would have been a lie.
To your law enforcement son?
That's correct.
Do you remember discussing that you felt law enforcement was concerned because of your relationship with Mario Fernandez? Do you remember that discussion?
No.
So the first thing you said is you've had it the whole time, but then do you explain to the jury what you remember about the second conversation where you said it was going to appear at the turn of the year?
I never said that in the beginning. In the beginning, I told him I didn't know where they were.
Okay. And then you said you had it the whole time. And then you said it was...
Somewhere during the conversation, I told him that I'd had them. Then I told him that somebody else had them and that they could produce them by January 1st.
Okay, so those are the three things. First, you said you didn't know. I'm leading just to try to make it quick. Second, you said that you've had it the whole time. And then third, you said it's going to appear on January 1st.
Correct.
Did you tell your son that you were going to call law enforcement when it would reappear?
Yes.
And this conversation would have been before January 25th of 2022.
Before, no, 2022.
This would have been, after 2022. Sorry, I said it wrong.
Holy crap. Yes.
Do you remember telling your son that you told law enforcement that Steve from the Georgia Hunting Club had the gun?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you remember telling your son that Steve from the hunting club had the gun?
No.
Do you remember apologizing to your son that you had put him in this position?
Yes.
Do you remember telling your son that you wouldn't tell him why he had to wait until January 1st to find out where that gun was?
I remember saying something when he asked me why January 1st or something along those lines. I responded. I don't know how I responded. I don't know the words I used.
Was that fair?
No, it's not fair. I don't remember.
Would you want to listen to that wire to refresh your memory?
You can try. The wire was pretty crappy. I hope you guys pick out some of the words before. We can, if you want to.
Okay, well, we may do that at the appropriate time. Okay.
Okay.
Were you telling the truth to your son in this conversation?
Initially, yes.
And then what changed?
I wasn't telling the truth. That's what changed.
Do you remember when Detective Lamont came to your house?
No, Detective Lamont, I don't know. I'm terrible with names.
You remember when Jacksonville Beach scheduled a meeting with you and you said, what?
If you're talking about when I was working at the school, like 4 years ago, yes. Yes, I remember.
You remember scheduling it for the next day?
No, I remember being contacted. Oh, I remember they came to the house in the morning as I was leaving to go to work, and they asked me if they could come back in the afternoon. And I said yes, and then I think that afternoon they contacted me, asked me to go down to the station, which I did at nighttime in the evening. I think it was the same day. I don't think it was the next day.
Regardless, in the meantime, you met with Mario Fernandez.
No. That day? No.
In between when you were asked to meet with Jack's Beach and the time you met with him.
No.
Okay. Do you remember deleting things off of your phone in between those two events?
No, sir.
So if the records show that, they would be wrong.
I don't remember them. I delete stuff all the time, sir.
Okay. Did you ever receive a courtesy call from the defendant about Henry Tennant's arrest?
No.
No.
Not that I remember, no, sir.
Do you recall making a statement to law enforcement that Mario Fernandez contacted you and gave you a courtesy call to tell him he might get questioned?
Told me he had been questioned, that the new tenant at the home I was working on, Potomac, might be questioned, and then I might be questioned as well.
Okay, so you do remember.
I remember, yes, sir.
Who is Fred Barton?
Fred Barton was an acquaintance for at least a couple of years, retired sergeant from Jacksonville Beach Police Department.
And your relationship back in 2016, did you have a fine relationship with him?
I don't remember 2016. I don't know how it was. I don't remember.
You remember your gun cabinet going over to Fred Barton's house?
No.
You never did?
I don't recall it going to Fred's house. I can't say I never did, but I don't recall it.
What happened to your gun cabinet?
I don't know. That's where the ammunition was stored and the weapons, everything, family heirlooms, the compound bow, all that stuff was there.
And that cabinet is on the porch of your house right now.
No, it's down in a landfill somewhere. After ATF inspected it, I chunked it out in trash because it was a piece of junk.
Okay, so ATF did go to your house and see your junky gun cabinet.
That one, as well as another one I told him I had, wasn't a gun cabinet. It was just like a document safe in my closet. I showed him that one as well.
Okay, but what you put into a landfill was the cabinet that stored all your firearms and your ammunition.
Previously, yes.
And you never know where that went, how it got back to your house?
I don't think it ever left the house, or it had guardian tools in it.
So the inventory that you gave your probation officer listed 20 firearms. You agree with that?
No, I don't. It's 20 different weapons. They're not all firearms, I don't believe.
Fair enough. What did you do with them?
What did I do with them? Yeah, I inventoried them. We stockpiled them in the living room. I think I gave them the middle finger because I was so upset about having to surrender my weapons, and I left the room and went to bed.
Okay. Where did they go?
I don't know where they went, sir.
If Do you think the probation officer took them?
Probation officer or JSO, whoever picked them up.
So is it your testimony that you think the JSO or the probation officer stole your firearms?
I don't think they stole them. I believe that was part of the process, either that or U.S. Marshals. Since I was on probation and had to interact with U.S. Marshals several times.
And your son Juan was there, was he?
Previously stated, yes, sir. He was there. He helped me with inventory.
Do you think he took them?
Do I think my son took my firearms? No, I don't think he took those. Only the one that I told you about.
Glock.
The Glock 40 millimeter, yes, sir.
So the 19, you don't believe your son took?
If that's the 10 millimeter that you're asking me about?
Asking about all 19 other things documented on that list.
Oh, the other 19 things. No, sir. My son didn't take those. I'm sure of that.
But you don't know where they are or where they went?
I have no idea where they went. I have no idea where they are. No, sir.
And did you ever go to Fred Barton's house to drop off your gun cabinet and then pick it up a week later?
No, sir.
Are you aware of your son, his law enforcement duties in Texas, had a burglary into his vehicle?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Are you aware that your son, while he was a law enforcement officer, had a burglary into his vehicle?
Into his undercover vehicle, that's correct.
You were aware of that?
I have been made aware of that, yes, sir.
And you're aware that he listed several firearms that were stolen?
No, I'm from Mr. I believe there was only one that I was told about.
Are you aware that he took more than one firearm of yours that he says you gave him?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Mr. Biggerstaff, would you get in trouble if you possessed a firearm or ammunition at this point in your life?
Yeah, that's correct. It's against the law.
Your Honor, that's all the questions I have at this particular time.
All right, let me check in with the jurors. Is everyone okay? Okay, you may proceed. Cross.
Good morning, Mr. Biggerstaff.
Good morning, Mr. Reiser.
You doing okay?
I'm hanging in there, sir.
You and Mr. Fernandez have had a relationship since he was in high school, correct?
Correct.
And when you were healthy, you worked out together. You said that, right?
That's correct.
And when he would go away on deployment, you weren't sending him care packages or anything like that. You weren't that close, correct?
No, sir.
And then if he came back, you guys would talk, work out, chat from time to time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. During those chats, did Mr. Fernandez ever talk nasty about his wife's ex-husband?
No.
Did he ever tell you he wanted to kill him?
No, sir.
Did he ever tell you he wanted to hurt him?
No, sir.
Did he ever seem really frustrated, like he was going to do something to him, or he was unhinged about his wife's ex-husband?
No.
Never got that impression, right?
No, the only frustration he ever shared was the tension between the two of them and over children and his new fatherhood.
And I want to ask you a question that the government didn't ask you. And if you don't understand my question, you tell me, because I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible.
Okay.
Did you ever give Mr. Fernandez a 10 millimeter firearm?
No, sir.
Did you ever give Mr. Fernandez any firearms?
Never. No, sir.
Did you participate in the planning of the murder of Jared Bridegan?
No, sir.
Did you help Mr. Fernandez in any way?
No, sir.
Did Mr. Fernandez ever tell you he participated in the murder of Jared Bridegan?
No, sir.
Did Mr. Fernandez ever admit to you that he had anything to do with the death of Jared Bridegan?
No, sir.
You told this jury that you don't remember what happened to the firearms. Is that my understanding?
That's correct.
And you don't remember going to Fred Barton's house. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you don't remember what firearms Juan took. In fact, what your memory is that he took one firearm.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Didn't you hear the government ask you a lot about history?
Correct.
You know, I don't recall them asking you about an injury that happened to you in 2022.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the form of the question.
I'll sustain it.
Were you asked any questions on direct about an injury that you sustained in 2022?
No.
Okay, why don't you tell the jury what happened to you in 2022?
I had a slip and fall injury on July 21st, coming out of a Circle K gas station. Sorry. I came out of a gas station with my hands full of products. On my way to my son's, and his wife had, we just came back from Key West for the weekend, celebrating my wife's 50th birthday and my son's proposal to his wife. and they were going to show us all, both sides of the family, the venue that they were going to do their wedding in and see if it was available. And then we were all going for pizza. I went to a Circle K gas station because I'm a horrible cigarette smoker. I had to have my cigarettes and some caffeine. While I was inside, there was a 4-foot or so laminated poster that came out of the bottom of a frame that they use on the outside of the store to announce the breakfast sandwiches and such. It slid out of the bottom of the frame. I slipped on it. I slammed backwards, injuring my head and my spine.
Did that result in you being diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury?
Yes, sir.
And was that by Dr. Emis, a neurosurgeon here in town?
Correct.
Since the time that you have been diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury, is your memory as good as it used to be?
No, sir.
Would you agree that you don't have as good a memory as to things that happened before that?
Absolutely. I'm on my medication for short-term memory loss even.
Currently, right now?
Correct, yes, sir.
And could that affect your ability to remember details from 2016 and 2017?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
When Mr. Fernandez would pay you for work that you did, you said it was $200 or $300. That's not total, correct?
I don't recall any amounts, to be honest. I was asked to throw a figure out there.
You would get paid per job, correct?
Correct.
So you don't know. Mr. Fernandez may have paid you thousands of dollars over the years, right?
It could have been. It should have been documented in the invoice program that I used for my company.
And fair enough, you did fall into some substance abuse issues, correct?
Correct.
So you wanted to be paid in cash, right?
Correct.
Because that's how you would buy drugs on the street, right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
You're clean and sober now?
I am a little over 3 weeks, yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But during the time that Mr. Mizrahi asked you about conversations that you had with Juan Biggerstaff, were you using drugs at that time?
Yes.
You acknowledge that you bought a 10mm firearm, correct?
Correct.
It was a bear hunting gun, you said.
A bear defense gun, yes, sir.
Did you give that gun to Mr. Fernandez?
No, sir.
Did you give that gun to anybody that you believe the intention was that it end up in Mr. Fernandez's hands?
No.
Did you give that gun to Henry Tenen?
No.
Have you ever seen that gun since law enforcement took it from you back in 2016-17?
No, sir, I have not.
All right. So let's look for evidence that maybe you still deal in firearms. You became a convicted felon in 2017, is that right?
Correct.
And today it's 2026, August. How many times have you been arrested for being in possession of a firearm?
0.
Objection, Your Honor.
Let me see it, sidebar.
There was a time in August of 2022 where you did go to Potomac to try to do some tile work. Do you recall that?
I don't recall the time, but I recall trying to do some tile work in Potomac, yes.
And that's when Mr. Ordway was living there?
Is that the blonde-haired young man?
White guy?
I don't know the names. Yeah, Caucasian male, yeah.
And you would meet Mr. Fernandez there to sort of go what work you should do and how to do it?
I think it was all via phone call and text at the time.
You were texting about tile work?
Correct.
And maybe you just don't remember, but if there was video of you and Mr. Fernandez at Potomac, you don't suggest that couldn't be true, you just don't remember?
Correct. Okay. I think that was more about the drywall when he was present.
Renovation projects?
Correct, yes, sir, yeah.
So, Mr. Biggerstaff, also, well, let me back. There was evidence that Mr. Fernandez, you were a swinger, you and your wife were swingers, correct?
Correct, we were.
And Mr. Fernandez was not the only person that would sleep with your wife that you would videotape, correct?
Unfortunately, that's correct.
Did you give any of those other people a 10mm firearm?
No, sir.
Did you give any of those people a gun?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you give Mr. Fernandez a 10mm firearm in exchange for him sleeping with your wife?
No, sir.
Did you have to bribe him or pay him?
No.
Okay. It was just something that you wanted him to do. It was after he told you him and his wife separated, and he did it, correct?
That's correct.
Any deal that you were making so that you would give him a murder weapon and he would sleep with your wife?
Absolutely not. No, sir.
And this was something that you asked other men to do as part of the lifestyle you were living, correct?
That's correct.
Did he owe you a favor?
No, sir.
Did you owe him a favor?
No, sir.
Is there any other way I can ask you? Did you give Mr. Fernandez a firearm in exchange for the February 15th meeting where he came to your house?
No.
On January 25th, there's cell phone data that suggests that Mr. Fernandez came over. Is your testimony you don't remember why he came there?
That's correct.
Did you give him a 10mm?
No.
Did you give him any firearm?
No, sir.
So he's been to your house dozens and dozens of times, correct?
All 3 of my residences, yes, sir.
could have been talking about, or could have been having a cigarette to clear his mind, right?
That's correct.
Could have been having a cigarette to clear your mind, correct?
Correct.
Could have been just chit-chatting like he had done dozens of times, right?
Yeah, he helped me a lot with VA information to get my VA stuff started.
And if a friend came over and stopped at your house sometime 6 years ago, and there was no real purpose for it, any reason for you to remember that?
No.
And going back to the hidden furniture search, because my understanding is you were searching for hidden furniture so you could hide drugs from your wife.
Correct.
That's the only reason, right?
That's correct.
It wasn't to hide weapons from anybody, correct?
No.
And law enforcement has searched your house?
Yes, that's correct.
Has law enforcement threatened you in this case?
Yes.
How have they treated you?
At times, pretty ugly.
Have they cursed at you?
Yes, sir.
People in the state attorney's office, have they cursed at you?
Yes, sir.
Do you think they treated you fairly?
No, definitely not.
They told you that they wanted you to tell the truth and they would give you immunity, correct?
That's correct.
Did you ever accept?
No.
Did you ever bring a criminal defense lawyer with you?
No.
Did you ever plead the fifth and say, I don't want to talk, I'm just not going to answer your questions?
Never.
So you've gone and you've spoken to them when law enforcement came to your house, right?
Correct.
You've gone and spoke to them at their office per their request, right?
That's correct.
You sat down for an entire deposition where I asked you questions for hours, correct?
That's correct.
And you came here today to testify in this trial.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever told anyone that you gave Mr. Fernandez a 10mm firearm?
No, sir, never.
They've told you they consider you a co-conspirator in this case,
That's correct.
but they just never arrested you?
That's true.
You know from being a police officer, it only takes probable cause to arrest you, right?
That's correct.
And nonetheless, with all the allegations and the threats and the cursing, they've never arrested you.
No, I have all the junk. Nothing. No arrests.
Because you've never given Mr. Fernandez a 10mm firearm, right?
That's correct.
There's no surveillance of you giving him a 10mm firearm, correct?
Say again, I'm sorry.
There's no surveillance of that.
No.
When you were giving this conversation with your son, Juan, was this part of what you believed the harassment was, this wire?
Yes, absolutely.
And you suspected you were being recorded?
Yes,
And you told Juan that you didn't have any firearms?
that's correct.
And then he just kept pushing you and pushing you?
That's correct.
And that was at a time when you were still using drugs, correct?
That's correct.
Did you describe your mind as clear at that point in time?
No.
And your own son, you believe, is probably recording you and pestering you about a firearm that you never gave to Mr. Fernandez, right?
That's correct.
About a firearm that you hadn't seen since 2016, likely.
That's correct.
And you knew your son was law enforcement at that time, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you want him to get in trouble?
Never.
Okay. When you said, I apologize for getting you wrapped up in this, did you mean the fact that he's there asking you questions and likely wearing a wire?
Yes, at the holiday time, absolutely.
Okay. So you certainly weren't apologizing for getting him wrapped up in some criminal activity you were a part of, right?
No.
Do you have anything to do with the murder of Jared Bridegan?
No, sir.
Objection asked and answered here.
Well,
Wait, overruled. Go ahead.
did you have anything to do with the murder of Jared Bridegan?
No, sir.
In any capacity?
No.
So Mr. Mizrahi asked you, did you said something like the weapons will show up in January. Is something to that effect, is that right?
Correct.
Did they show up in January?
No.
Did law enforcement ever come back and say, give us the 10mm?
No.
Have you been in possession of any firearms since the day that Magistrate Monty Richardson ordered you to surrender your firearms?
If that's the Middle District of Florida, then that's correct. Not one single firearm since then.
And that was unfair to you because I've shown the jury that it was Magistrate Monty Richardson who signed the order making you surrender your firearms. So if I represent that that's in evidence,
Okay.
that's the person or the judge. Have you been in possession of guns since then?
No, sir.
Ammunition?
No.
Weapons?
No, sir.
Mr. Fernandez helped bring tables and chairs to your son's wedding the day after the homicide?
I don't remember if that was him doing that or not. I have a big blank there on who helped me, but I'm assuming since you say that, the answer is yes.
Okay, so you don't dispute that he helped you?
I wouldn't dispute that, yes, sir.
And that was the kind of stuff you did for each other. He would help you do
Correct.
things. You would help him do things, right?
Correct.
And when Mr. Fernandez told you that day that Mr. Bridegan had been murdered, did Mr. Fernandez seem nervous?
I don't know if it was that day, but when he told me, he didn't seem nervous, no.
Did he make any admissions?
No, sir.
Did you think anything of it?
No,
Did you guys talk about what firearm was used?
no, we didn't. I don't think we ever talked about it again after that day.
After the Potomac tile work project, that was, I'm going to represent to you somewhere around August of 2022, okay?
Okay.
Did you and Mr. Fernandez have a falling out over that project?
I think we ended on bad terms because of that project, yes.
And it was because Mr. Fernandez wanted you to work on a tighter schedule than your body was allowing you to do?
That's correct.
And you thought you made that clear, like, I'll do the project, but because of my physical condition, I need to do it on my own timeline.
Right.
And Mr. Fernandez got frustrated with you that it wasn't going as fast as he wanted it to.
Correct.
And then Mr. Fernandez took over the tile project
I don't know what happened to it after that. I didn't go back there.
because you guys really haven't kept in touch, right?
That's correct.
So certainly, you don't owe anything to Mr. Fernandez right now, right?
No, sir.
He doesn't owe anything to you right now, right?
No, sir.
Part of your fall at Circle K, did you hire a personal injury lawyer?
After, did you say?
Yeah, after you fell. did you
Yes, I
hire-
did, unfortunately, yes.
And was his name Randy Reap?
Correct.
Okay, so if you had searched for Randy Reap, also on the day you were looking at those thumbtack, whatever you described it on Google, that's because that was your lawyer at the time?
That's correct.
Mr. Mizrahi mentioned things like you don't have a lot of money. You would agree you would search for all sorts of things you couldn't afford, correct?
That's true. Yes, sir.
Yachts, right?
Yes.
Villas in France,
Yes.
flour tortilla recipes,
Correct.
how to make the best chocolate chip cookies,
Correct.
military bases in Charleston.
Yes.
You also looked at a 9mm firearm at one point, right?
Correct.
Would it be fair to say you probably have looked at thousands of things on the internet?
Yes.
Because when you were injured, you weren't very mobile, were you?
I haven't been very mobile for 6 years. That's correct.
And a lot of what you do is on your phone.
That's true.
Any rhyme or reason as to sometimes what you're looking at or why you're looking at it?
No. What I'm watching on TV usually generates my searches.
And if you had looked for a 10mm at one point in time, would you agree you wouldn't have had to do that if you still owned one?
That's true statement. No.
You could have gone to wherever it was and looked at it if you still owned one, right?
Right.
But you didn't do that because you didn't own one, right?
Correct.
And in those particular searches, you would acknowledge that that you never searched anything to do with firearms that had anything to do with Mr. Fernandez, correct?
That's correct.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes,
You have no further questions. Thank you.
you're right.
Sure.
Mr. Biggerstaff, you mentioned that the state of Florida offered you immunity. Remember that line of questioning?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And who was that, me?
You, correct. You and Ms. Stifler, yeah.
We're both assistant state attorneys, right?
That's as far as I know, yes, sir.
Well, your conviction, was that in state court or was that in federal court?
Federal court.
Did you, in the course of this investigation, ever sit down with a federal prosecutor?
Are you asking? Okay. You may proceed.
So did you ever meet with a federal prosecutor with regard to this case at all?
I don't know. There was at least one probable federal somebody in my home that didn't provide credentials. So I don't know who it was.
That was an ATF agent, perhaps?
I don't know. They were with an ATF agent, yes.
When the talk of immunity came up, it was just me and Ms. Stifler.
No.
Who else was there?
Jacks Beach homicide, police detectives, an agent from ATF, and some female. I don't know who she was.
It's your testimony that an agent from ATF was present when we discussed immunity with you?
Correct.
Okay, that's all the questions I have here.
Anything further? May the witness be excused? All right, Mr. Biggerstaff, you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take your time. The next witness, I'd like to take a break, or is the next witness short? Okay. Members of the jury, we're going to take 15 minutes, okay? And then we'll come back for the next witness.
Oh, Drunky might
Yes,
be
the
all the
lawyers
way
is up
messed
off the
up. He
schedule.
coming out in a walker and everything. Wow. That's some good tea. Yeah, he got to get Mario off so Mario can come home and Mario can come home and get his wife together.
So it will be the same procedure, just no cameras back there, so because they're disclosing sensitive information related to their finances and family and medical situations, okay? You're welcome.
Let me get us past this break, y'all.
Good morning, Mr. Biggerstaff. Walk all the way forward,
Oh, here
please.
come the sun.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right, sir, head to your right. Watch your step. You may proceed.
May it please the court. Please state your name for the record.
Juan Biggerstaff.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm an independent contractor selling roofs.
How long have you been so employed?
2 months.
And what did you do? Yeah, we do some of these questions to make sure that you project your voice and things. Previous to being a contractor with roofs, what else did you do?
I was in law enforcement,
How long were you in law enforcement?
about 8.5 years.
When did you resign your law enforcement position?
March of this year.
March of 2026.
Yes.
Were you under investigation at the time you resigned?
Yes.
I want to turn your attention to February of 2022. Were you employed in law enforcement in February of 2022?
Yes.
And were you living in Texas?
Yes.
Is that a suburb outside of Dallas?
No, it was in Dallas.
You were in Dallas?
Yes.
What police department did you work for?
Irving.
Which is a suburb of Dallas?
Yes.
Okay. So you're living in Dallas but working in Irving?
Correct.
Is that where the stadium used to be, the Dallas Cowboy Stadium?
That's correct.
So do you know a person named Mario Fernandez?
Yes.
How do you know him?
He was a family friend of ours.
Did you see him here in court?
Yes.
Could you say where he's seated and what he's wearing?
He's seated to my right. He's wearing a blue suit.
Is he the person closest to the jury or furthest from the jury?
Furthest.
May the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
Yes.
Who is John Biggerstaff?
It's my father.
I'm going to turn your attention to when your father got in trouble with the federal government. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Were you working in law enforcement when that happened?
No.
Well, how short after when he got in trouble did you become employed with law enforcement?
I became employed with them September of 2017, so about a year.
Okay. And do you know where that was in relation to his conviction as opposed to when he was indicted?
No.
Around the same time, maybe shortly thereafter.
Yes.
At that time, obviously, you were not a prohibited person.
Correct.
And did you help your father in the preparing of the federal affidavit relinquishing his firearms?
Yes.
Tell the jury how you went about doing that.
We collected the firearms that were in the house at the time. Just went by serial number and make and model of all the firearms, and then I transported them from the house day of or day after to my sister's apartment.
The jury has already seen this, but just for consistency in the evidence, showing you what's been entered into evidence of State's Exhibit 190, is this handwritten affidavit that you and your father filled out?
Yes.
Whose handwriting is that?
Mine.
And that's lists 20 firearms or items that he was surrendering?
Correct.
Describe for the jury how those firearms were transported.
I took them in my vehicle, which was a Ford Focus at the time, and they were in various bags and gun cases.
And what did you do with them?
I dropped them off at my sister's house or apartment.
What is your sister's name?
Stephanie Atkinson.
And that was her name at the time?
2016.
2016?
Yes, I believe she was married in 2016.
And how long did the firearms remain at your sister's house?
Several months. They purchased a house, and at that time is when I went and picked them back up.
Bless you.
So this is, and just for the jury's orientation, this is in 2016?
2016, early 2017.
Before your father was convicted of the crime.
I don't recall the actual conviction date, but yeah, I think so, yes.
If you don't know, that's fine, but if you remember, it was while he was on pretrial release that he had to collect his guns.
Correct, yes, that's right.
And then he was convicted later in 2017.
Right.
So after the guns were in your sister's, what happened?
So when she purchased the house, she no longer wanted the firearms in their house. I went and picked them up, and I kept them with me, separated several for myself, kept the rest in my vehicle until I left for Texas later that year.
Which guns did you keep for yourself?
There was a Smith & Wesson 9mm, a Glock 27, it's a .40 caliber, a .243 bolt action rifle, and a Benelli shotgun.
Was one of the guns that you did not keep a Glock 40 10mm firearm?
Yes.
What happened to that firearm?
That was left at Fred Barton's residence.
Explain to the jury how that occurred.
Fred Barton was a friend of my parents, and they had kind of like a gentleman's agreement to leave the guns at Fred's house when I was leaving for Texas.
And when would that have been in 2017?
Yes.
Describe for the jury who went and how the guns were transported to Mr. Barton's.
So myself and my wife were in one vehicle. My parents were in my dad's truck at the time. I transported the guns in the same cases and bags that they were in, walked them inside of Fred Barton's house, and I want to say I left them in one of his closets, and then we continued west.
Are you familiar with a gun cabinet that your father owned?
Yes.
Kind of a cheap one?
I don't remember, yeah.
Do you remember if he later on kept gardening tools?
I do not know that.
Did you transport these guns in a gun cabinet?
No.
So they were just bags?
Yes.
And you put them, you believe, inside of a closet?
Yes.
Did Mr. Barton inventory them in any way? Did he look at them?
Not that I recall, no.
And your father was with you when this happened?
Yes.
What happened after you dropped the firearms off at Fred Barton's house?
I drove to Texas.
When you dropped off the firearms at Fred Barton's house, did you inventory that there were 16 firearms that were dropped off?
No.
Do you know if that 10mm was dropped off?
Yes.
So you do know that for sure?
Yes.
And you kept the 4 that you've already indicated?
Correct.
I want to fast forward now to December of 2022. Was there an occasion where you became, in your law enforcement duties, wore a recording device to go speak to your father?
Yes.
And was that done pursuant to law enforcement's request?
Yes.
Did that make you feel uncomfortable?
Yes.
Why did you do it?
I had a order from my department that I had to follow just standard operating procedures to be cooperative in criminal investigations.
So pursuant to your law enforcement career, they're like, if they ask you to do this, you should do it.
Yeah.
In talking to your dad, I'm going to go through some of the things that y'all talked about. But before that, did he know that you were being recorded?
I did not tell him no.
That would have been a violation of wearing the recording device.
Right.
It was supposed to be surreptitious or undercover.
Right.
You did. Did you do work as an undercover police officer back in Texas?
Yes.
So you were familiar with that policy?
Yes.
Can't tell people that you're recording them.
Right.
So did you begin the conversation with telling your dad or asking your father the question that should you be preparing your mother for something that's going to happen with regard to this 10 million?
Yes.
And what did your father say?
I believe he responded no.
Did your father indicate anything about the 10 millimeter?
In regards to 10mm, no, just that the guns would show up January 1st.
Did you remember if your father told you that the authorities only care if the 10 millimeter matches the 10 millimeter involved in the murder that they were investigating?
Yes.
Do you remember your father telling you that he had the 10 millimeter the entire time?
Sorry, I do not recall.
Yeah, you had an opportunity to listen to the wire before. Would you like to listen to that again?
No, it's fine. If that's what is transcribed, then yes, that's what would happen.
Do you remember your father saying when they knocked, the 10 millimeter was here?
Yes.
Do you remember your father telling you that it was here and it will appear later?
No,
Yes,
I'm
not
not
yet.
yet.
Grounds.
Hearsay. He can't testify to what his father is telling him. He can testify to what he
Wait.
tells his father.
What's your response?
It's impeachment.
I'll overrule the objection.
You remember your father telling you that the 10 millimeter firearm was here, meaning with him, and would appear, but just cannot yet.
Yes.
Do you remember your father telling you that he did not know where it was at the current time?
Yes.
Do you remember your father telling you that it would appear after January 1st?
Yes.
You remember your father telling you that he did not know who had the gun, but they would appear after January 1st?
Yes.
You remember your father telling you that he told ATF that Steve from the Georgia Hunting Club had the gun?
Yes.
Do you remember telling your father telling you that he felt bad to drag you into this?
Yes.
Do you remember your father promising that when that 10 millimeter reappeared that he would turn it in?
Yes.
Mr. Juan Bickerstaff, I'm just going to say your first name just to clarify from your father. You kept 4 of the firearms. How come you didn't sell the other 16?
Never crossed my mind.
Could you have?
Yes.
Were those 16 other firearms, were they valuable?
Yeah.
What about the ammunition?
As far as being valuable,
Well, no. Just what happened to it?
I don't know.
As you sit here today, do you know what happened to that 10 millimeter Glock?
No.
Did you ever go back to Fred Barton's home and take the guns out of his closet?
No.
Did you have any idea if your father did?
No.
I'm going to fast forward to June of 2023. Were you the victim of an auto theft / burglary?
Yes.
Tell the jury about it.
I had a early 2000s GMC Yukon that was a pool car, meaning it was one of the worst cars to have in the department. I had it parked outside of my residence, and I had just gotten out of training for the day. I left my belongings in the car, getting ready to go on vacation with my wife. Came back from like a 3 or 4 day vacation, saw the car was gone, immediately contacted Dallas Police Department. And while I was on the phone with Dallas Police, I noticed that my car was stopped at the end of the street, abandoned, and several of my bags were stolen out of the car.
So the car was taken from your home, and how far away was the end of the street?
Maybe a quarter mile.
You were able to see that, I guess, while you were on the phone?
Yes.
And what was stolen?
My department issued Glock 31, which is a 357 SIG, and my Glock 27, which is a 40 caliber, and ammo and other police paraphernalia.
When you provided the serial numbers for those firearms, did you make an error?
Yes.
Tell the jury about it.
So when I was waiting for Dallas Police, I referred back to that inventory and just unintentionally copied down the incorrect serial number, which happened to be for the Glock 10 millimeter, not the Glock 27.
I understand those are on lines 7 and 8?
I believe so, yes.
I'll approach just to make sure. State's Exhibit 190. Counsel is correct. It's the Glock 27 is line 6, and then the Glock 40 10 millimeter is line 7.
Yeah, correct, yes.
Now, you would agree that this State's 190 is lined,
Yes,
and you filled it out.
yes,
When you reported the 2 firearms that were stolen, you were aware, or were you aware, I guess is the better question, that the 10 millimeter firearm was important to police?
yes,
Because you had actually worn an undercover recording device to talk to your father about that 10 millimeter.
right,
And you, based on your training experience, are stolen guns and reporting them accurately important.
yes, sir,
You would agree that you did not report it accurately.
correct,
And the serial number that you put down was to a firearm that you knew police were very interested in locating.
yes,
You know why your father would lie to you in that recorded I agree. It's,
Rephrase that, please.
do you know of any reason why he would lie?
No.
In that recorded conversation with your father, did he also tell you things about immunity?
Yes.
What did he say?
That he didn't believe in the immunity that was offered, and he thought it was BS.
That's all the questions I have.
Cross.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Good to see you again. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Try to get you out of here pretty quickly.
Appreciate it.
Now, Mr. Biggerstaff, I'm going to, the state asked you most of the questions that I'm going to cross-examine you on, so I'm going to just try to be brief with you. In 2016, when you wrote that inventory, that was all the firearms and any other weapons you understood your father to have. Is that correct?
Yes. From,
So 2016.
yeah.
And you actually took possession of all those firearms in like a duffel bag and in gun cases.
Right.
Was not in a cabinet of any time when you delivered it.
No.
Now, I know the state asked you, just trying to get you to project your voice, asking you questions about how long you've been in Jacksonville since you left Texas, and I understood that was since March.
Correct. No, I've been back since April of this year.
You resigned your position with a law enforcement office out in Texas.
Yes.
You were not fired.
Correct.
And to be a law enforcement officer, you took an oath
Yes.
to uphold the laws and the Constitution?
Yes.
And I believe Mr. Mizrahi asked you, I'm fast forwarding a little bit to when you wore a wire, the reason you cooperated was because that was policy of your own department.
Correct.
So it would be in violation of that policy to lie to other law enforcement.
Correct.
No dispute that at some point your dad owned a Glock 40 Gen 4 10 millimeter.
Right.
I think a lot of people call it like a bear defense gun.
Sure.
But you're familiar with it. You've seen it before.
Yes.
And in 2016, that was one of the firearms that you put on that inventory list.
Yes.
I believe it was number 7 on that list that Mr. Mizrahi just showed you.
Yes.
To your knowledge, is that the last time your father saw that firearm is when you sat and completed that inventory?
To my knowledge, yes.
Have you ever seen him in possession of it again?
No.
One of the firearms you kept was the Glock 27 that was stolen out of your vehicle?
Correct.
And that was item number 6 on that list, correct?
Yes.
And the jury's seen that list and they're going to take it back in evidence, but that was just handwritten right above the Glock 10.
Yes.
And the state asked you about when you retrieved those firearms from your sister and then took them to Fred Barton's house, your father was with you. Or, excuse me, you retrieved them from your sister, put them in your car, correct?
Yes.
Kept them in your car for a number of months?
Yes.
Any idea whether or not your father had any access to that car?
He did not.
Okay. And then on your way out of town, who helped you move to Texas?
My now wife and my parents.
Okay. Like driving a U-Haul truck and,
We drove my vehicle, Ford Focus, and my dad's pickup truck.
okay. And if I understood your testimony, literally on the way out of town is when you dropped those remaining firearms off at Fred Barton's house?
Correct.
You walked them inside and put them in a closet?
Yes.
Okay. Did your father go with you?
Inside the house?
Yeah, did he like go in the closet with you?
If I remember correctly, he was inside of the house already, but
Did you see him have access to those firearms?
no.
Okay. And certainly it'd be a violation of his pretrial release or his supervised release if he had been convicted at that point.
Correct.
You then drive to Texas, you become a law enforcement officer out there. I believe it was in 2018 is when you actually got into patrol. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. And at that point, you're just a police officer in Texas. You would come back and forth from time to time to visit family?
Yes.
Okay. Any time coming back and forth that you ever saw those firearms?
No.
Okay. Ever see your father with a firearm?
No.
You guys ever go shooting or anything during that time period?
No.
That would also be a violation of, at that point, his supervised release.
Correct.
And you, as a law enforcement officer, during this time period, would somewhat be required to report him if you saw him in possession of a firearm. If you saw him breaking the law while you're a police officer, you'd be required to report him under those policies that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Safe to assume you never reported him because you never saw him in possession of a firearm.
Correct.
In February of 2016, did you come back to Jacksonville?
Yes.
Why?
I was getting married.
Okay. Do you recall when you actually got back in town?
It was the morning or afternoon of the 16th.
Okay. Did you come to learn that that was the same date as the homicide of Mr. Bridegan?
Yes.
When you came back in town on February 16th, did anybody give you a 10 millimeter?
No.
Did you see your father on February 16th? Did
Yes.
you see him approximately around 8 or 9 o'clock that evening
Correct.
with your mother?
Yes.
And your mother doesn't drive at night, does she?
No.
Okay, so your father had to drive your mother to your sister's house that evening.
Correct.
And you saw him that evening?
Yes.
Didn't appear nervous or anything out of the ordinary?
No.
No indication anything was wrong with him?
No.
Did you see Mr. Fernandez in the days after February 16th?
Yes.
Tell the jury about how you saw him.
Mario had offered to help, or my dad asked him to help pick up some chairs and tables to set up for a rehearsal dinner that we had.
And do you recall what date that was?
That was the 17th, I believe.
Day after you got back in town?
Yes.
Okay. Did he appear nervous or looking over his shoulder?
No, I only saw him for maybe 5-10 minutes, but no, he did not.
Otherwise, he just helped set up like you understood he had agreed to do?
Right.
How long did you stay in town?
Full week, I believe.
Did your father or anyone else give you a 10 millimeter to take back to Texas with?
No.
And then at the end of the week, you just went back to Texas?
Correct.
Continued being a law enforcement officer?
Correct.
Later that year, did you come back to Jacksonville
Yes.
in 2022?
Yes.
And at that point, had you been interviewed by the ATF?
Yes.
They interviewed you in Texas?
Yes.
Were you truthful with them?
Yes.
Did they ask you about the 10 millimeter?
Yes.
Did you tell them the same thing you've told the jury this afternoon, that you did not see the 10 millimeter?
Correct.
And did you also get interviewed by the ATF here in Jacksonville?
Yes.
Was your story the same? You
Yes.
had not seen it?
Yep.
And again, that's part of the policies in which you have to follow as a law enforcement officer, is your truthfulness with other law enforcement agencies.
Correct.
And as Mr. Mizrahi mentioned, in December of 2022, you agreed to wear actually 2 recording devices.
Yes.
One in your pocket and then one that was like a cell phone.
Right.
Okay. And these were things you were familiar with from your own law enforcement experience.
Yes.
My understanding is they maintained observation of you to make sure that you couldn't call your father to say you were on the way over there in order to tip him off that you were wearing a wire.
I don't know that to be true.
Okay. Did you tip off your father you were wearing a wire?
No.
Didn't write any notes or anything to say, hey, Dad, I'm wearing a wire, don't say anything?
No.
Did he mention Mario Fernandez at all during your discussion with him?
Not that I recall, no.
Your dad told you a whole bunch of different things during that conversation.
Yes.
Some inconsistencies as far as so-and-so has the firearm, or I don't know where it is, or it's going to show back up.
Right.
In essence, 3 different stories about this firearm.
Yes.
Now, your father had, my understanding, a traumatic brain injury in 2020, somewhere around that time period?
Yes, yeah.
Did you notice that he had some difficulties after that accident?
Yes.
Did you come to understand your father also had some substance abuse issues?
Yes.
That combined with the brain issues, you noticed a big difference in your father?
Yeah.
Kind of his cognitive abilities?
Yes.
And his physical abilities?
Yes.
After you finished, we'll just call it that recording session in December, did you turn over that recording to law enforcement?
Yes.
Did you get an opportunity to listen to it before you gave it to them?
No.
Did you get an opportunity to listen to it when you were with them?
No.
You just went back to Texas and continued on your law enforcement?
Yeah.
State asked you in June, when you were back in Texas, your vehicle got stolen. This was your undercover vehicle?
Correct.
And the Glock 27 that was stolen, was that the one that was given to you by your father?
Yes.
With the serial number that was listed on number 6 on that handwritten inventory?
Yes.
And as you told Mr. Mizrahi, you just simply put the wrong serial number, correct?
Correct.
Did you refer to the inventory for that number?
Yes.
Okay. And you did not put it was a Glock 10 millimeter that was stolen. You would agree with that?
Correct.
And at the time, you were living in Dallas.
Yes.
So you reported your stolen vehicle to the appropriate agency because you were in Dallas.
Yes.
But you also notified your agency that your vehicle was stolen.
Yes.
At some point, you came back to Jacksonville and you were interviewed or met with the state attorney's office again. Is that correct?
Yes.
And during that subsequent meeting, it had become clear to you that law enforcement did not believe your position on the 10 millimeter, correct?
Correct.
Someone had actually filed some sort of a complaint with your agency that they didn't believe you were being truthful.
Correct.
Ultimately, they put you on administrative duties as a result.
Yes.
No one actually found that you were being untruthful, but because of that complaint, they placed you on administrative duties.
Yes.
You understood that the people sitting at this table, Ms. Stifler and Mr. Mizrahi, didn't believe you.
Correct.
They said as much.
Yes.
And during one of those meetings, they actually offered you immunity in the event you wanted to tell a different story.
Yes.
Did you accept that immunity?
No.
And you know what immunity is from your law enforcement experience, correct?
Yes.
And whether or not that included federal authorities sitting in the room or otherwise, you were interviewed by ATF multiple times.
Yes.
And by state law enforcement.
Yes.
Do you stand by every statement you've given to them?
Yes, I do.
You told the truth every time?
Yes.
Certainly don't want to have a negative impact on your new family by being untruthful with them.
Correct.
Mr. Bickerstaff, did you have any involvement in the homicide of Jared Bridegan?
No.
Do you have any reason, do you have any evidence that Mr. Fernandez had any involvement in that homicide?
No, I do not.
Do you have any involvement with disposing of a firearm?
No.
You consulted with an attorney out in Texas during your administrative duty time period?
Yes, employee attorney. Yeah.
It was an employment lawyer,
Yeah.
correct? Do you have any other information that would actually implicate Mario Fernandez in this homicide?
No.
Have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
I said congratulations at the beginning of your testimony. It's because you had a baby last week.
Yes, sir.
I noticed you had the armband on.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions.
Okay. Thank you. Redirect.
Yes. Mr. Juan Bickerstaff, do you love your father, John Bickerstaff?
Yes.
Do you love your mother?
Yes.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
May the witness be excused.
You may.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, members of the jury, I appreciate your patience in pushing into the lunch hour. He will be the last witness before the lunch break. Please leave your notepads on your chair, follow the communication over the lunch recess, and I'll see you we'll call it 1:30. We'll come back, okay? Everyone may be seated. Is there anything that we need to take up before we take the lunch break? Okay, thank you. Court's in recess. What, there was something? Okay.
We'll have to go through.
All right. Will you please raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Detective, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So jury knows you. We don't have to go through any introductions. You've been brought back primarily to discuss the financial records that you obtained during the course of your investigation. But there was one thing we forgot to ask you, and that's State's Exhibit 199. Detective, have you had the occasion to go to the Potomac address, Mario Fernandez's former rental house, to see how it looks today?
Yes, I have.
And I'm showing you it's been entered into evidence of State's Exhibit 199. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of how it looks today?
Yes, it is.
And I think in the top left-hand corner of the picture, it says the Google Earth image is approximately March of 2025.
That's correct.
So State's Exhibit 199 would have been after Mr. Fernandez sold the home.
Yes.
So now we can go to some of the financial records you obtained. How do you, as an investigator, go about obtaining financial records?
Through a subpoena issued by the State Attorney's Office.
And when you receive those records, do you also receive an affidavit saying that these records are made in the normal course of business?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, first of all, State's Exhibit 171. We give the jury an idea of how these records are contained. I've opened up State's Exhibit 171, and it should be on everyone's screen now. So when the jury looks at the tenant financial records, we see two different folders come up. Can you explain that to the jury what those are?
One of them is a Credit One bank credit card, and it's just the credit card statements, and I think the application information. The other folder is his PNC Bank subpoena return, which is his bank account.
Okay, if we open up the Credit One, is this what you refer to as his credit card history?
Yes, sir.
I think it's all pretty self-explanatory, so we don't need to go through that. But let's look at the PNC bank records. We see two different folders when we click on those. Is there overlap contained in those records?
Yes, there is.
Why do we have overlap?
It was just the time period that was requested on the subpoena, and so it was the return of it.
So is there any reason for the jury to spend their time on the June 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022 files?
No, the first folder basically covers the time period that we reviewed and then up until the time that he was arrested.
So that would be the 1/1/2022 to August 18th, 2022.
That's correct.
Okay. First thing we're going to look at is that certification. Is that what you referred to as you received from the records custodian?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The jury can see that published. So we will now go to 1/1/2022 to 8/18/2022. Do we see some redactions in these?
Yes, sir.
Is that like for things like social security numbers?
That's correct.
Okay. Of course. There it is. Of course, this Adobe looks completely different from my Adobe. There we go. So looking at page 22 of States 171, what is the jury looking at here?
This is a checking or statement for his checking account at PNC Bank.
If we scroll down on page 22, can you, for the record and for the jury, indicate what the beginning balance and ending balance was of Henry Tennant on his bank statement for the dates of 1/7/2022 to 2/4/2022?
I believe
Well, I guess let me show that for the jury. Is that 1/7/2022 to 2/4/2022, the period of the bank statement?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then scrolling down to the balance summary.
The beginning balance is 52 cents and the ending balance is negative $2.38.
And how many deposits and other additions were there in the bank account?
There was a total of $250 in deposits and there were deductions in the amount of $252.90.
And we see an average monthly balance. Could you read that for the record?
The average monthly balance on the statement is negative $66.17.
And were there additional charges and fees, like overdraft fees, that were included?
$36 for the statement.
Do these statements also contain banking and debit card withdrawals and purchases?
Yes.
Let's go now to the period 2/5 to 3/4. And do we see that at the top of the statement on page 24?
Yes.
And then going to the balance summaries, can you again show the jury the ending balance, the deposits, and the ending balance?
The beginning balance was negative $2.38. There were $703.50 in deposits, $643.80 in deductions, giving an ending balance of $57.30.
Okay, we also see significant overdraft fees.
There were a total of $144 in overdraft fees.
And again, we see the debit card withdrawals and purchases.
Yes, sir.
So now going to 3/5 to 4/6 of 2022, beginning on page 26, what is the balance summaries?
The beginning balance was $57.30. The deposits were $11,518.95. Deductions were $4,601.79. You have an ending balance of $6,974.46, bringing his average monthly balance to $941.36. And there were $180 in overdraft fees.
So going to the deposits and other additions on page 27, do we see 3 significant check deposits?
Yes.
And can you put the dates and the amounts?
On 3/28, he deposited a check for $2,000. On 3/29, he deposited an additional $3,000 check. And then on April 6th, he deposited a $5,000 check.
And do these checks end up matching the business check stubs that were found in Henry Tennant's truck?
Yes.
Do we also see cash deposits?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll get to those in a little bit. And again, we see the banking card withdrawals and purchases.
That's correct.
Do we see work that corresponds to Henry Tennant's truck on 4/4 of 2022?
Yes, sir, we do.
Discount tire, as well as advanced auto parts on 4/4. Do we see those?
Correct, yes.
So we're going to fast forward to page 39. That's not page 39. This is. Okay, we're looking at page, I guess 38 going into page 39. Do we have the pay period several months later?
Yes, July 8th through August 4th.
And what are the balances?
The beginning balance is $204.63. There were $829.84 in deposits. There were $1,336.39 in deductions, with an ending balance of negative $301.92.
And this would have been the balance shortly before Mr. Tinnen's arrest.
That's correct.
So now if we would go ahead and fast forward, do these records contain the check deposits and or the deposit slips of cash that Mr. Tinnen did?
Yes.
So turning first to page 44, what are we looking at here?
That is a check, an electronic check for a credit card payment.
Let's see here, make it look a little bit bigger.
I'm sorry, that's an Advance America payment.
I need to make it bigger. So this was paid to Advance America as from Henry Tinnen. In other words, he owed them money for advances.
That's correct.
And that was the amount of $100 done on July 29th of 2022.
Correct.
And then we're going to go to page 50. It's smaller. What is the jury looking at on page 50?
This is a paycheck for Mr. Tinnen from Monis & Pallets.
Can you state what the amount is?
$364.37.
In reviewing Mr. Tinnen's bank records, were his payments from Monis & Pallets typically in this amount range?
Fairly consistent amount.
And did they also always include cents? In other words, they weren't flat numbers, like 100 or 200?
That's correct.
And will we see some of these deposits in his bank records?
Yes.
Did you give the date of January 28th of 2022?
No, it's dated January 28th, 2022.
That's okay. The jury can read that. And does it say in the memo what the pay period was?
Yes, the pay period is January 16th, 2022 to January 22nd, 2022.
So about $364.37 for a week's worth of work.
Yes, sir.
And do we see that corresponding deposit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, looking now at page 250, in reviewing these records, did you also notice that Mr. Tinnen was making cash deposits?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any idea where that cash came from?
No, sir, I do not.
So looking at page 52, do you see a cash deposit February 11th of 2022 for $250?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And remind us about when the homicide was?
It was the 16th of February.
Do we see the corresponding deposit check?
Yes, sir.
On 2/18 of 2022, do we also see a cash deposit?
Yes, sir, we do for $340.
And do we see that corresponding deposit check?
Yes, sir.
Or slip? Looking now at page 56, what is the date and deposit here?
It is March 14th, 2022,
And for how much?
$520.
Okay. User error. All right, if we can go to page 56, what are we looking at here?
That's a deposit ticket for $520.
And then page 58.
It's another deposit ticket for $150 on March 18th.
Then on March 28th of 2022, is this a deposit slip for the $2,000 check?
Yes, sir, it is.
And on page 60, what is that?
That is a check written to Mr. Tinnen for $2,000 from First Choice Home Rentals, LLC, on March 28th, 2022.
And for how much?
$2,000.
And for what?
According to the memo line, it's for landscaping and clearing.
The person that writes the check puts that information on.
Yes, sir.
In reviewing the records of this case, did you find any invoices from Henry Tinnen charging for $2,000 worth of landscaping and clearing?
No, sir, I did not.
And who signed the check?
Mario Fernandez.
And then on the same day, there's another check on page 62. Please read it for the record.
Also from First Choice Home Rentals, LLC, to Mr. Tinnen for $3,000. It says keeping up with the roof, also signed by Mario Fernandez.
Again, did you see any invoices corresponding to that?
No, sir.
Is that the deposit slip for the $3,000 on page 63?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Then the next check is 4/4 of 2022 on page 64. What are we looking at here?
Also, the third check written by First Choice Home Rentals LLC, dated 4/4/2022, made out to Henry Tenen for $5,000. The memo line says Kickstarter, good luck, and it's signed by Mario Fernandez.
So for the period of time that you looked at Henry Tenen's bank records, were these payments different from the payments he received for his normal job at the pallet company?
Yes, sir.
Were they significantly more money?
Very much so.
And do we see the deposit on page 65?
Yes, sir.
And just to show the jury some of the deposits for his work at his pallet company, we're looking at page 66 is the deposit slip for 2 different checks.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And do we have pictures of those checks on page 67 and then 68?
Yes, sir.
For 67, again, this is from Monison Pallets, and we talked about that non-round figure of $367.
88 cents, yes.
88 cents. And again, do we have a pay period listed there?
April 10th, 2022 to April 16th, 2022.
And then again, on page 68, please put the amount, the date, and then the pay period.
The check's dated 4/15/2022. It's for $483.79. And the pay period is April 3rd, 2022 to April 9th, 2022.
And then we also see some cash deposits.
Yes, sir, a cash deposit for $700 on May 11th.
Again, you don't know where that cash came from.
No, sir.
More cash deposits. Let's go ahead and go to 75. So we see, we'll have to go through each cash deposit. The jury can find that there are several cash deposits.
Yes, sir.
And then go to some more of the checks. On page 77. For the record, just put those items of information on the record.
It's a paycheck from June 10th, 2022 for $365.19. The pay period is May 29th, 2022 through June 4th, 2022.
And then page 80.
This paycheck is dated July 8th, 2022. It is for $324.93. And the pay period covered is June 26th, 2022 to July 2nd, 2022.
Now, Detective, could some of the cash deposits be situations where the legitimate work that Mr. Tenen did was deposited and taken out and then redeposited?
Yes, sir.
We just don't know where the cash came from.
That's correct.
Okay. We are now going to look at Mr. Fernandez and Ms. Gardner's financials. So when we opened up their financials, do we look at 3 different folders?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Explain to the jury what the 3 folders are.
The Navy Federal return, which is, I would say, their primary banking institution. And then Mr. Fernandez had some accounts at USAA. And then there was also an account at Vistar, which I believe he might have been associated with, but I don't believe that to be his money. I believe it was his mother's.
And these 3 are going to be in States Exhibit 170. So let's look at the Navy Federal, since that's the primary one that we're going to be looking at. Do we see that certification in the first Adobe file?
Yes, sir.
And I'll start with, what is Navy Federal Beach to Bake 904?
That is a small cookie business that they owned.
And then do we have a Fernandez checking and savings account in the third Adobe?
Yes, sir.
We also have a First Choice Home Rental in the fourth.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a Shanna Gardner checking and savings in the fifth?
That's correct.
And then the Shanna Gardner Irrevocable Trust in the sixth.
Yes, sir.
So we'll begin first by going through the First Choice Home Rental, because we have First Choice Home Rental checks that were deposited in Henry Tenen's account that we just saw.
That's correct.
So page 2, what are we looking at here?
This is the membership application for Navy Federal Credit Union for the First Choice banking relationship, and it lists the 2 owners of this LLC.
And who are the 2 owners?
Mario Fernandez and Shanna Gardner.
Is there a percentage of ownership listed?
According to this application, it shows that Mario Fernandez is 60% and Shanna Gardner is 40%.
So we are going to go, and certainly all of these are in the record, so I'm only skipping things for time's sake. Page 46, This is going to be for the time period of February 1st, 2022 to February 28th, 2022.
Yes, sir.
Explain to the jury what they're looking at in the business checking and the business savings account of this LLC.
This is the statement for the period that you stated, 2/1/2022 through 2/28/2022. Unlike a lot of banks, credit unions you have a main account number, and then you would have what they refer to as shares, which are just like sub-accounts of your main account. In this case, you're looking at one, which is the business checking account, and then the other, which is just the business savings account.
And the previous balances, and then show what's deposited.
The total previous balance was $4,206 for both accounts. The total deposits were $56,201.67. Withdrawals were $601.33, and then the ending total balance for both of those sub-accounts is $59,806.61.
And then we'll see on page 47, obviously there was a lot of money deposited. Does it say on 222 and 228 where those $5,000 and $50,000 deposits came from?
I know at least the $50,000 one came from Mr. Fernandez's account.
So from his account into the LLC.
That's correct.
So we see here a transfer from checking for Courtney Thomas. What is this?
That would be a rent payment, I believe.
And do we see that reoccurring on a monthly basis?
Yes,
And is that for the Sandalwood property as opposed to the Potomac property?
that's correct.
Do we have evidence in the Potomac property that rent was approximately $700?
I think it was 800, but I'm not sure.
780,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range. Do we see on page 50 that there were some legitimate payments made for the care of the Potomac home?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And please show that to the jury.
You need one? Sure.
Should I stop? No, I was just wondering what's going on.
Okay. Mr. Mizrahi.
So we're looking at page 50. If you could show the jury the payment to Bueller Air.
Yes, sir, right there on March 3rd, there's a $14,000 payment right there. And that was for Bueller Air Conditioning.
And do we also see payments for items from the Home Depot?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Do we also see that $2,000 and $3,000 checks that correspond to the checks written to Henry Tennant?
Yes, sir.
And your review of these records was the balance of over $55,000 unusual for this LLC?
Yes, sir.
And although unusual, there was a large expenditure to Bueller Air.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Was the amount that was deposited well in excess of the $14,000 to Bueller Air?
Yes, it was.
So we're fast forwarding to, well, too fast. Going back to page 53, which is on a separate statement, do we see that $5,000 check on 4/7 made to Henry Tennant?
Yes, sir.
Am I underlining it on check 29?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
We also see a check 30 was $240.
Yes, sir.
Did Mr. Tennant also deposit cash amounts in $240 increments sometimes?
Yes.
And that $5,000 that we see on 4/7, what was the memo line of that $5,000?
I believe it said Kickstarter, good luck.
Okay, going now to page 59. Do we see transfers that reduce the balance in this account directly to Mario Fernandez?
Yes, sir.
And just, I guess, point the dates out and circle them for the jury.
Looks like 5/15 or June 16th, June 23rd for 5,000, and then an additional for 5,000. And then there's another one for 500 on the 24th.
I think the $500 was a reoccurring one as payment for like his doing this work.
Yes, sir.
And then going to page 72. What are we looking at on page 72, specifically the October 14th?
There was a cash withdrawal for $10,000.
And below that, do we see a transfer from checking back into the account?
Yes, sir.
In reviewing all of these records, do there appear to be a lot of money moving around?
There was, yes, sir.
In your trading experience, could you figure out really a reason why all this money was moving around?
No, there was no what seemed legitimate reason for it.
Grounds.
Lack of foundation and speculation.
I'll sustain as a foundation.
Okay, so that looks like a good place to stop, I think. Oh boy. Yeah, we got work to do. So we'll be back up in here early in the morning. Shout out to all the new chatters, the mods, the chat team keeping everything alive and well. We're gonna be back following the money tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow sometime with this one. We'll start off with Lindsay. Hopefully we can get that case wrapped up and it can get to the jury ASAP. Good grief. So hopefully that gets to the jury where we can stop doing that case. We'll finish that. We will go into our Tupac case and then we're here. I'm leaving this right here. Thank you, Blue. I'm gonna leave this right here for us. So we'll get to it and we'll finish it. We'll just be, we'll get to it. But we got most of our stuff today. Mofo trying to figure out how to get a free ride. I cannot with you. Cause she said free Uber. Sign me up. Where you get those at? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to make sure you have hit that thumbs up button and that you have hit your notification button. So that way when the lights cut on tomorrow, you'll have your notification, right? Yay, yay, yay. I'm gonna go ahead and put our outro song on and I will see you guys in the AM and we will be back with LC in the morning. All right, guys. Peace.
When Sweet Pea taps in, you know the courtroom lights go bright. Trials running long, but the family's here every night. Mars on patrol, chatter showing out. This little YouTube corner's what community's about. Therapist you know, steady holding down the floor. Behind the scenes magician, keeping peace like never before. A banner king, a rule keeper too. Every channel dreams of a mind like you. Jason walks in and the ladies lose control. Down to earth king with the warmest soul. Film freaks, kindness man is always on display. Fair and sweet and cheering folks along the way. And Marilia from SA keeps the laughter rolling free. Joking, shining, keeping spirits where they need to be. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case so far, we're forever taking to trial. Take it to trial. Pretty brown girl, she'll tell you what's true. Sharp as a gavel, funniest in the room. Dr. Rachel pops in while she's busy running lines. Speaks her mind every time, cuts through like a knife. And Fowler brings the energy, jokes flying fast. Helping Sweet Pea backstage, making every stream last. Then Zach strolls and causing chaos just for fun. The resident cheater, but we love him, everyone. Here comes Maddie, handsome, quick with the line. A comedy sniper with the perfect timing. And Lynn with the updates, always loyal, always tuned. If true crime news drops, he brings it to the room. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case so far, we're forever taking to trial. Take it to trial. Shamrock keeps fastest trending replay queen, holding down the algorithm like a machine. SD's razor sharp, loyal through and through. And yeah, she adores chasing nothing new. Drunky the bear with the white claws, way managing volunteers like she runs the whole land. Cynthia brings inside what takes sharp and steady. Donna keeps it real, 911 and always ready. Tilly Bird's the fat queen, receipts on tap. Easy's new, but she blends right into the pack. Tennessee, hard-lived, tries to support her with pride. Melly shows up her family for cooking for his dog. A steady carrying presence through the courtroom fog. And Brooklyn in the house, always bringing that spark. Lighting up the chat like a shout in the dark. Baka loves her gram, speaks truth when it's time. Micrograms with metaphors, straight up sublime. Barbara, biggest supporter, heart kind and vast. Looking for missing kids, hope to truly last. Only fan from Singapore, flag name but sweet. Still shows up with love every time he takes a seat. And even the part-timers keep this place alive. Curvy Hill, Irish Amy, Capri Law, Hellcat, our tribe. Hearts wide open, stories shared, holding space because we care. From every corner of the world we climb to spend these nights together, one trial at a time. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. Minds and shatters, yeah, this love is something rare. A courtroom crew with hearts beyond compare. No matter what the case or file, we're forever taken to trial. To Sweet Pea in the mouth and the chair we adore. This isn't just a channel, it's a family. And we couldn't ask for more.